At this time, I would like to introduce your black Hereford judge for this afternoon, Mr. Andy Higgins of Auburn, Tennessee. Mr. Higgins manages his family herd of 100 Angus and Key Angus cows, along with being involved in his family's real estate and auction business. Andy has judged shows all across the U.S., including the North American. Could folks around ringside join me in giving Mr. Andy Higgins a round of applause for coming out and judging your black Hereford show? Again, in the ring now is Class 2 Spring Heifer calves. These calves range from May 1st to June 30th of 2022.
A really nice pair to kick off this division, and it's a shame just the two of them out here because they could both stand some extra competition. I hate to have one feel like they're at the bottom of this class just in terms of the quality that both these females bring out here to the table. I think for me, the Tiger Striped one just leads off in terms of the way this one blends so nicely from nose to tail, and with the extra pieces she has in terms of the boldness of her cage, an extra big hip in her. I think a female still's got plenty of muscle and design to her, but blends it in just very smooth and ladylike fashion. I think one, in terms of just extra range of motion off those rear two, a shot bigger footed as she plants it at the surface, and then one that holds the advantage in there, and one that just shapes up, has a really nice attachment there. Looks like she's going to have a really nice teat spacing, and into production is going to be extremely nice there as well. I think in terms of just overall quality and balance, that one screams a class winner out here and just comes to us in a really nice presented fashion out here. Young lady does a great job getting her presented. I like that one quite well. The female is going to go into, in terms of just attractiveness and the way this one ties out of the front third of her skeleton, this young lady gets her parked and she gives you a really high quality look, really fresh in her condition, and I like that about her. I think one that's still bold centered, big ribbed, has plenty of good to her in that regard. I think one that just ran into a little tougher of a class winner out here, but boy, is just as nice as a female we've seen out here as well today. Still sound and attractive as she gets out and goes. One I'd like to maybe just have her a shot more flexible in her hip and her hind leg compared to our class winner, and I think that maybe is the advantage there for that one to go ahead and go 1/2. But boy, just in terms of freshness, design, and overall body shape, young lady, you have a really nice female, and well, congratulate both those exhibitors and two high quality females.
Well, good morning, folks. We get this F1 show started over here on our side of the ring, and it's an honor to be back out here. We got a good pair of heifers here to get this Black Hereford show kicked off. This class winner here, boy, she hits you pretty hard when she comes in the ring. I tell you, this one is so elegant about her head and her neck and the way it blends into her shoulder. She's one that's good in terms of her rib cage. She's one that's got some foot size to her. She's still coming at us pretty green here for a May, and that's all right, but she's got the added size. She's one that just gives you an awfully nice look of quality and a good place to start here to get this show going. Young man's heifer in second. I tell you what, this one's good in her own right as well. When he gets her parked there, you study this one, she's neat through her front 1/3. She's one that's got some shape and turn to her hip. I think when you compare her to the heifer in front of her, though, she just gives up a little bit of the overall mass and dimension, some of the overall power that one does that wins the class today. But good pair of heifers, good way to get things going here.
And first place in Class 2 of your F1 female show are as followed. First place goes to entry number 37, CBD Miss Fergie ET, exhibited by Holly Schaefer of Admore, Oklahoma. Congratulations. Second place in that class goes to entry number 21, BFA Tell Me Lies, exhibited by Bennett Farms and Austin Herman of Anaso, Ohio. Congratulations. Now entering the ring will be Class 3 Spring Heifer Calves, date of birth April 8th of 2022.
Well, the quality just keeps coming. Another high-quality single entry brought out here in terms of just balance and design. This one's presence from the side is really, really good. I think in terms of just her freshness, and then you get her out and go, and I think a female that's still got plenty of practical parts and pieces and then some extras. I really like just the cow-like look this one has from the side. Love how she bounces and blends from nose to tail. I think a female that's functional, gets out and goes, and just puts a lot of good to the table. A female would be fun to get back out here in this division and see with some competition. Congratulations for a high-quality single entry out here in this class.
Well, a nice single entry here over on the Black Hereford ring. This young man's brought us this F1 April female here, one that reads with a lot of quality. I think she's very attractive and maternal about her head and neck. She's one that's good in terms of her rib shape. When you get behind this one, she reads with a lot of turn to that rib cage. I think one that's just got a nice maternal look to her. If we're going to pick on this one a little, sometimes maybe she wants to get a little tighter there in her spine when we get her out on the go. She's wanting to fight him a little bit on the halter, though, and I understand that. I think if this one would just relax some, she would handle her spine, her hip, and her hind leg a little better. But an awfully high-quality single entry here as we move on into the show.
And first place in Class 3 Spring Heifer Calves. First place in Class 3 goes to entry number 22, BFA Rock You Like a Hurricane, exhibited by Bennett Farms of Annecy, Ohio. Congratulations. We will now be selecting your Spring Heifer Calf champion. And placings over and placings in Class 15 over in your Beef Builder Bromley show. First place goes to entry number 4344, Miss JMS Trivia J210, exhibited by Jalen Smith of Rosebud, Arkansas. And second place goes to entry number 3233, SW Darla 2106, exhibited by Elin Zingelman from Campbellsburg, Indiana. Congratulations. And first place in Class 16 goes to entry number 3013, exhibited by Alexander Beaumont Merida, exhibited by Kate Alexander of Brashear, Texas.
We get this pair of class winners out here to sort and pick you a division champion. And we got a good pair of heifers here, folks. This one out of the first class, I think the first term that comes to mind when I look at this one's presence. She certainly demands your attention, and I think it's just a lot of the way her neck ties into her shoulder there. She's one that is so elegant up front. We talked about in class about how elegant she is. Still got some body to her, still got some stretch and some length of spine. I think just a lot of quality in this female. The heifer out of the second class, I think she's one that's angular in her design as well, but when you compare her to this one out of the first class, maybe just like to see a little more to her here today to stretch her out. And I guess ultimately for me, it's the look, the style, the structural integrity of that first class winner. She'll be your division champion here to start of this first division. I think it gets a little closer for a reserve here. This pair of females are ones that are similar in kind, but I guess for me here today, we're going to go with a heifer out of the second class for your reserve division. Congratulations.
a high quality division out here, and maybe not in just terms of overall numbers. We didn't have that, no, but boy, I think all the cattle that we had out here in this division just read with a lot of good. I think cattle that have a lot of useful parts and pieces and really can go out and do a lot for these exhibitors. It started off with a really high quality pair there in that first class, and a female that led that class, I think just in terms of her boldness, her rib shape, a little extra hip and mass, and a female that's blessed with a shot more, hair out here, and it just helps with her balance and her blend. But I think you break this one down. She's big-footed, big-featured. I think a female that's still plenty flexible as she gets out and goes. And when the young lady gets her parked from the side, just still gives you a really high-quality look, a lot of balance, a lot of good in that one, and just in terms of her extra mass and brood cow feature, one that still stays well blended and still sharp in her overall design and feature. Maybe not as high tying as some out here, but I think just in terms of extra foot and feature, extra range of motion, and then just extra cow-like feature, boy, you sure appreciate all the good in that one. The female that won that second class, a single entry, one that's maybe not in bold and opened up in her overall design and rib shape as the females on either side of her, but just in terms of her side view balance, her design, her freshness, the way this one transitions from nose and into her shoulder, I think really just ties in extremely nice. Blends back to a bold, big rib shape. I think a female that's still really good hipped and has a really nice functional hind leg. A female maybe doesn't get out and cover as much surface area as the two females on either side of her, but I think still gets out and goes extremely well. And then we had a nice second there to that first class one. A really fresh, high tying individual. A female that you still like her overall boldness and extra feature. This one has maybe just not as coordinated as a few heifers in front of her, but just in terms of extreme high quality, I think she still reads that extremely well. I really like this division. I thought all three of these females are extremely nice. Young lady out of that first class, she'll have our champion. I'm going to go with the balance and the blend. The female out of the second class, she'll be reserved. Congratulations to all three.
And your champion junior beef builder heifer goes to entry number 4344, Miss JMS Tiva J210, exhibited by Jalen Smith of Rosebud, Arkansas. And your reserve junior champion beef builder heifer goes to entry number 3013, Alexander Beaumont Merida, exhibited by Katie June Alexander of Brashear, Texas. Congratulations to those exhibitors. Now entering the ring will be Class 19 Beef Builder Senior Yearling Heifers. Again, now entering the ring will be Class 19.
Well, folks, I tell you what, the quality just got turned up even more in this class here. I think we've got some heifers here that offer just a lot of goodness and a lot of quality for sure. And this one that's going to lead the class off, this brings us that really unique look of quality. I think we study this one, and we start at her nose and her head, and it's so attractive. The way her neck sets high in her, she's one that opens up into a big rib cage, really got the levelness and flexibility down her spine that when we get her out on the go, you study her on down to the ground. She's one that's sound and fluid in the way she gets around the ring, puts all those pieces together in just a tremendously balanced package. Folks, that's a good female to start the class. This heifer in second, if you didn't see the one in front of her, you would say, wow, I don't know if there'll be one out here any better than her today, because this one's design is right. She's got the head, the neck that I like to see in cattle. She's got some presence to her. She's one that's hind leg is designed correctly when we study her through her hock all the way down to the ground off those rear two. I think when we compare her to the heifer right in front of her, she's just not quite as far along today in terms of condition. She's not quite as ready as that one. And as a result of that, she probably gives up a little center body. But I think a female that we project on down the road, she's got a bright future because her build's so good. Tremendous heifer there in second as well. Young lady in third here has probably got the highest performing heifer of the three. When we want to talk about frame size and length and extension, that's a good female as well. She's super attractive. She's one that's got some shape to her rib cage. I just think her pieces don't blend together quite as nicely as the two in front of her here today, but really, really good class. Looking forward to getting these back out here and stacking them up to some of these older heifers.
And placings in Class 4 Spring Heifer Calves over in your Black Hereford show. First place goes to entry number 38 and Automatic Junior Heifer Calf Champion. Entry 38, PPHBLK Style and Jewels, KO8, exhibited by Sammy Neef of Onakawa, Wisconsin. And second place and your reserve division winner goes to entry number 30, SKLN Sugar 2202K, exhibited by Skyline Farms of Casda, Ohio. And third place in that class goes to entry number 23, Unbelievable Bow, exhibited by Bennett Farms and J.C. Sims of Greenfield, Ohio. Congratulations. Now entering the ring will be Class 7 Senior Heifer Calves.
We get out here in our senior division, and I think in terms of just parts and pieces, there's some few you can break down and exchange in between this trio of females. But for me out here, I think just in terms of practicality and functionable pieces, I think this one that's going to lead off the class does so pretty handily for me. The way this one's built out of all four corners of her skeleton is where she holds the biggest advantage in this class, especially off her front two. I think a female that's smoother the way she's built out of her shoulder, the way it's designed into her body cavity. I think a female that just transitions a shot more freer and square from shoulder down to knee down to the surface. And I think a female that just gets off and handles and covers more surface area off those rear two as well. She's attractive and just as neat built in her lower third of her skeleton or lower third of her body as the two heifers behind her. No, but I think in terms of just being practical, cowy, and having the right fundamental parts and pieces for a guy like me, I think this one suits me awfully well. Just the way she gets out and goes. A nice class winner there to start. There's some trade-offs between the females in 2 and 3, and I think one in terms of just being a shot neater in the way she's built out of her head and neck, a female that comes with us with a shot more body and just maternal body strength, I think is a female that comes to me out here and just appreciate the fact there's a little more of her out here. I like to see her just go a notch more freer as she gets out and goes, but I think in terms of just overwhelming parts and pieces, she does have that for us out here. And a nice female here that's going to round out the class, one that's big hipped, square in her hip. You really like the design, that the way that one's built from that part or that standpoint. For me out here, I like to just widen her at the knee, open her up there at the surface. I think one that likes to rotate in as she gets out and goes off the front end and just give it a little more flex and go off the rear two, but a nice attractive one as well. Nice class, congratulations to them.
And first place in class number 19 goes entry number 3916, Miss J.P.R. Dixie, exhibited by Mackenzie Stevens of Orange, Texas. And second place in class 19, Beef Builder Senior Yearling Heifers, goes to entry number 1062, S.W. Dixie May 029, exhibited by Camille Conrad of Seymour, Indiana. And third place in that class goes to S.W. Gurrid, exhibited by Adeline Knapp of Salmon, Indiana. Congratulations to those exhibitors. Now entering the ring will be the selection of your grand champion Beef Builder Heifer. Again, we are selecting your grand champion Beef Builder Heifer. And please note that entries 3916 was automatic division winner, and entry number 1062 was reserve senior champion heifer. Again, we are selecting your champion Beef Builder Heifer here in Broadbent Arena.
Folks, if you're sitting ringside, you need to be paying attention to what's going on over here on this side because the quality keeps coming. And this class here, I think it's pretty close. And if you want to switch them, I wouldn't argue. I'll describe the cattle to you the way I see them because there's some give and take in this pair of females, but at the end of the day, they're both super high quality. Female that's going to win your class here. I think there's no doubt she's got the advantage in terms of length and extension. She's one that certainly maintains levelness down her top to be that long, certainly very square at her hip. She's one that, I'll be the first to admit, she's not probably quite as deep right through the center portion of her body as that heifer in second. She's coming at us a little fresher in her condition, though, today, and I think it's a trade-off there. I just prefer the length, the maternal look this one has. It's going to win your class. The heifer in second, she's really, really good too, folks. I think you want to talk about one that's got dimension all the way through from her forerib all the way back into her flank. She's one when you get behind her that doesn't disappoint you there either. I think when you compare her to the heifer in front of her, she gives up a little bit of the foot size and bone work. She just wants to labor more off both ends of her skeleton. I guess that's the deciding factor for me. If we could just see this one get out and move a little better, she might get around that one. But both those heifers are super high quality. Congratulations to the breeders and exhibitors.
We get out here in our first divisional championship there, or your beef builder grand drive, and I think it's been a fun show to start off the morning here on the green shavings, and it's been a lot of quality as we've gotten through these divisions and worked on way through here, and I'm really, really pleased with the group of females and the reserves and even some that went back to the barn just in terms of the quality and that these cattle brought out here, and then to break them down and analyze them, this really found a nice group of cattle that we could land on. And I think in our division group of females that had some functional pieces to them, ones that still tied together and had the right body shape and the design and some extra hip and feature to them. Ones that still come out here with a quality look, a balanced look from the side, just with a few extras. And I think all of our lineup, exemplifies that to a high regard. We started out the show in that first division, just an extremely high quality female there that won that calf division. Big-footed, big-featured female, very flexible. She gets out and goes, like the way this one hits off of all four corners. I think a female in terms of just her body shape, her hip design, boy, she brings a lot of good shoulder back. One maybe not as attractive or just as neat through her skull and her crest as some out here, but I think it sits on her appropriately, and I think it balances up extremely nice. One with those quality pieces, even being for the young calf, I think one that's in extreme contention out here amongst this group. A nice pair there we had in that next division. This one in terms of just her extra body shape and design. A female that's still very attractive, very maternal, maybe not as neat in the way she ties together in her pin design and her hip shape, but I think one that still just reads maternal, cowy, with a lot of good pieces, very fresh. Young lady does a nice job with her. That heifer that won that next division, boy, in terms of just boldness and extra rib and body, big hip, big featured, very flexible as she gets out and goes. Love the way this one tied from nose to tail. I think a female that just puts a lot of good out here, and the young lady gets her parked there from the side. That one gives you an awfully nice look from the side. And our senior last division, that champion, I think in terms of just structural design and added fluidity, I think a female that rose to the top in that division, not as attractive as some, but boy, in terms of just the extra good pieces, she has it, and I like the way that one got out and went, which made her that division champion. I think it's been an awesome lineup. Folks, I know we don't have a ton of people ringside, but let's congratulate all these division winners. Look forward to the rest of the show. We'll get you a grand and reserve in this division. Congratulations to everyone.
Well, another super high quality single entry here in this F1 show brought us a heifer here that just reads good from the ground up in terms of foot size. Still got some attractiveness, super long from her hooks to her pins, and got some power to her. If we're going to nitpick this one, maybe she doesn't balance up quite as neatly and attractive in her underline. We just like to neaten her navel up there and raise her up in her chest floor maybe. But I think a heifer that offers a lot of goodness, awful lot of quality in this single entry here.
And your grand champion beef builder heifer goes to entry number 4344, Miss JMS Tiva J210, exhibited by Jan Smith of Rosebud, Arkansas. Congratulations. We're now ready to select your reserve grand champion beef builder heifer. And your reserve champion beef builder heifer goes to entry number 2518 FLC Snowball 103K, exhibited by Ava Cordell of Wichita Falls, Texas. Congratulations to all the exhibitors. We're now ready to move on to your beef builder cow-calf pair. And catching up over in your black Hereford F1 female show, placings in Class 7 are as followed. First place and automatic senior heifer calf champion goes to entry number 8. Banner MPR Perda 2195, exhibited by Morgan Riley of College Grove, Tennessee. And second place and your reserve division winner goes to entry number 9, Rocky Raccoon, exhibited by Dustin Kittle of Columbia, Tennessee. And please note that entry number 24 was a scratch. And first place in Class 11 early yearling females goes to entry number 7, Anna's Legacy, exhibited by Chloe Mack of Conta, Oklahoma. And please note that entry number 7 will automatically be your spring yearling female division winner. Now in the ring is Class 12 spring yearling females.
Well, single entry here in the pair show of the beef builder side, and I think a nice high quality pair though to come out here and commend this group for bringing out a quality pair. We saw the calf out there in the early show. I think in terms of just attractiveness and foot size and balance, really a nice calf to go on the side there, and you can see where she gets it from mom. I think a cow that's just really neat in the way she's designed, really attractive. A female that's putting a lot into her calf. I think one that still has a nice udder on her. I think one you could alter a little bit in the way her teat placement is and where the balance of her bag is, but I think in just terms of flexibility and balance and design, extremely attractive, extremely well neat and chiseled out through that front 1/3 of her skeleton. Plenty of body, nice hip, nice fundamental built one, I think, in terms of her overall footwork and pieces there. Just a high quality pair. Let's commend this group for bringing out a single entry with a lot of quality and taking the time to do so. Congratulations to them.
Well, the quality keeps coming over here in this F1 show. Hereford's going to lead the class off here. I think just offers so much goodness in terms of her build and her design. A female that's still attractive and just has such a maternal look to her. I think you want to talk about one that's going to be a low maintenance, a low budget kind of brood cow because she's so easy fleshing, bold sprung, big barreled, and one that still, when we get her out on the go, is flexible enough. You know, at times when she wants to get a little lazy and maybe be more hesitant on those two rear pasterns, but when she gets her going there, she sets them down just right. I think that female there is one that offers a tremendous amount of quality, and she's going to fit right in with our other division winners. I tell you, this champion drive is going to be something special. The heifer that's in second here is no slouch either. This one's so stout featured, got a big old stout hip in her. She's one that's probably pushing a little more condition than what I'd like to see here today. We can see that on the top side of her neck. She's pushing a little more width and fullness down into her chest floor as well. But I think a female that's so functional in her kind, she's one that's going to go on and make a tremendous brood cow for this young lady. But a good class here, lots of quality once again.
And first place in Class 12 and automatic junior yearling female goes to entry number 19, LCF CC Kiss Me 103, exhibited by Caitlin Cole of Lancaster, Kentucky. And second place and reserve division champion goes to entry number 28, MKCC McKay's Scarlet J5, exhibited by Shannon Herefords of West Point, Tennessee. Over in your black Hereford F1 division, we are ready to select your grand champion F1 female. And over in your beef builder Bromby cow-calf pair division. First place in Class 24 and automatic grand champion cow-calf pair goes to entry number 2939, Darkside Miss Molasses 2002, exhibited by Annabelle Lehman of Leroy, Kansas. Congratulations. We're now working on Class 27 Beef Builder Spring Bulls.
Awesome way to start off our bull show, and I think this first class, boy, it reads really good just in terms of quality from end to end. Both these bulls bring a lot of good to the table. I think the advantage in the black bull and just the way this one blends and balances, transitions from shoulder to forerib, in the way this one's constructed out of the top side of his blades, I think just holds a distinct advantage. Both these bulls are big-footed, loose-featured, both get out and cover some surface area, so I think that's a close pair in terms of that regard. I just on the stand, when you get the black bull set up, just in terms of the way this one draws up, bounces up from the side, extremely neat and attractive out through that third of his body, blends in really, really nice from shoulder to forerib. He's bold in his body shape. He's a little longer, a little squarer hip than the white bull that's going to go in second, and then just transitions down to extremely nice functional hip and hind leg. Both bulls are good in their testicular development, and like I said, both have plenty of mass, plenty of feature, plenty of structure, authority as they get out and covers the ground. I just think the advantage is in the way these ties together. The white bull that's going to go in second, another just extremely high quality bull, really massive in his rib shape, really well in his overall design in terms of the way this one covers the surface and his foot and feature. I like to just smoothen this one up, tuck his tail head down into his body cavity, relax him in his spine, and just blend this bull and give him a shot more balance compared to their class winner. But again, extremely nice pair of bulls there. Congratulations to them.
We've got our division winners back out here on this F1 side, and to say I'm pleased with what we got out here would be an understatement. I think the quality we've seen in this show all the way through has been second to none. You study these cattle, you study the build they have, and I think all the way from this first division winner down to our last, they share a lot of the same qualities. They're cattle that have that added look. They still have just a really feminine, maternal look to them. They're cattle that are good-bodied. They're cattle that just put together a lot of pieces that make cattle good, whether we're talking about it in the pasture at home, whether you're more commercial-oriented or whether you're more show cattle-oriented. It doesn't matter. I think there's something out here that kind of blends in the middle and meets in the middle of all those facets. I'm not going to go back through and talk each of these division winners. We talked them in class and division. I think there's a tremendous amount of quality, and there's one out here for me that really, really does it. I think puts together so many good pieces. Gets a little closer for reserve, but I think I've got my mind made up. I'll go show you how I like them. First, let's give these guys a round of applause.
In first place over in Class 27 of your Beef Builder Spring Bulls goes inch number 1015, BB Rockstar, exhibited by Briscoe Cattle of Mitchell, Indiana. And second place in that class goes inch number 5319, James Platinum Pimp, exhibited by Jose Antonio Munzo from Amherst, Texas. Congratulations.
A single entry here back on the bull side of the Runby ring. I think another one that just in terms of quality and foot size and the way this one's designed and in his skeleton, you really like the design of that calf. I think one that's really attractive and neat the way he's built through his head and neck. One that's still bold in his body, still's got plenty of power. Maybe one we could square him up in his hip design, but I think in terms of just the good parts and pieces and the fundamentals, this one strikes all the boxes on that as well. High quality single entry. Be nice to see him back out here in division. Congratulations to her.
And over in your Black Hereford side, your grand champion F1 female goes to entry number 38, PPH BLK Styling Jewels, K08, exhibited by Sammy Neef of Onekama, Wisconsin. Congratulations. And your reserve grand champion F1 female goes to entry number 19, LCF Kiss Me 103, exhibited by Caitlin Cole of Lancaster, Kentucky. Congratulations. And over in Class 28, over in your Bromby show, first place in Class 28 goes inch number 5320, James on Time, exhibited by Jose Antonio Munzo from Amherst, Texas. Congratulations. We will be selecting your junior bull calf champion.
Well, great first division here in the bull show, and in that first class, I think a nice pair of bulls there, and in terms of just the way them cattle came out, and all three of these bulls, in terms of just foot size, structure, design at the surface, I think it reads really, really good. I think there's some ways you can go in terms of just how these bulls are put together, how they balance up and draw up. I think we have, bulls that are still attractive but still masculine about their feature. I think there's bulls out here that are all in terms of their scrotal development and what they can do out in their working clothes, in a few years to come. I think extremely high quality. In that first class with the black bull that won that first class, in terms of just the way this one balanced together, blends so nicely from shoulder to forerib, back through his midrib, really nice square hip in him, really functional as he gets out and goes. I like the squareness, I like the meat shape in this bull. I think we'll add some pounds in performance, and on the side still draws up and gives you an attractive profile. Neat in the way this one's built through the front 1/3 of his skeleton, really masculine but still neat in his head shape, and his design ties in awfully nice. Maybe not as deep in his flank compared to where his chest is. I think you could alter there in his lower third balance just a notch more. But I think in terms of a lot of good and just a lot of blend and balance, that bull brings a lot to the table. And our class winner out of the second class, I think, won in terms of just having some extra bone and feature and a really attractive look from the side. Again, a bull that still could just tuck him up in his chest fork comparably, maybe pull him apart in his forerib and just square him out on his hip. But I think in terms of just side view profile, some extra presence, ton of balance, ton of structural fortitude. I think just a high quality bull. We had a second in that first class. That was big footed, big featured, a lot of body in that bull. Really neat skull in the way he's attached there. We talked about maybe just pulling him apart a notch more in his forerib as well, but you liked all the good pieces in these. I think an awesome set out here. For me, the two bulls out of that first class balance up extremely nice out here in this division. Those pair out of the first class will be your division and reserve grand. Let's give them a round of applause.
And your junior calf champion bull goes to entry number 1015, BB Rockstar, exhibited by Briscoe Cattle of Mitchell, Indiana. And your reserve junior calf champion bull goes to entry number 5319, James Platinum Pimp, exhibited by Jose Antonio Munzo from Amherst, Texas. Congratulations. We're now ready for Class 31 Beef Builder Winter Bull Calves. And over in your Beef Builder Bromby Bull class, both Class 31 and 32 were single entries, so we will be selecting your senior champion Beef Builder Bull.
two single entries out here, and so we'll pull them together here for this division, and we'll just talk about them a little bit and let you know how we see them out here after that. But the bull out of this will be the first class, the Smoky Bull. I think just in terms of mobility and range of motion, this bull can get out and cover some surface. Extremely soft and flexible as he gets out and goes. And you read him from the top side of his skeleton. He's bold-centered, big bodied. I think a bull that's got plenty of power and punch underneath him. I like this bull's bone work and the way it's designed in him. I think one that's still awfully smooth in the way he's put together with that much mass, and then still extremely attractive from the side. I think a bull that's high tying and just really puts a really neat package together from this view and this angle as well. Maybe a bull that runs downhill just ever so slightly, and maybe like to lengthen him out in his cannon and his overall mature size. But I think in terms of just extra foot and power and looseness of skeleton, boy, that bull still has a lot of good in him and can do a lot on the breeding options as well. The black bull, that would be out of your second class, a really long-sided, long design kind of a bull, and maybe that comes to a disadvantage in terms of his balance in his lower third of his body. I think one that's a little higher in his flank, one that's just a little lower in his chest, but in terms of just a really balanced view from the side, in terms of look of quality, a high tying, high presentation, I think that bull offers a lot of good in that regard as well. From the side, he doesn't look as stout as some, but you work around that bull, I think there's still plenty of meat and shape in him as well. He's good nutted, good balance there, I think in terms of that. One that gives you a really fresh look from the side. Maybe not as free moving off his front third of his skeleton as the bull that would win the first class, but I think the bull that's still adequate and good enough in his structure. I think there's some differences in regards of size and length and just overall shape of muscle, but I think both these bulls breed with an extreme amount of quality. I'm going to go with the extra punch and power in the young man's bull out of your first class. He'll be your division champion. Young lady, you'll be reserved. Congratulations to them.
And your senior calf champion goes to entry number 2517 FLC Holy Water 10-6J, exhibited by Michael and Nancy Farmer of Sims, Texas. And your reserve division winner goes to entry number 4345 Miss JMS Bruno J230, exhibited by Jalen Smith of Rosebud, Arkansas. Congratulations to those exhibitors. Now entering the ring will be Class 40 Junior Yearling Bulls. And over in your black Hereford side, we are ready for those Hex females. We are ready for Class 21.
A nice single entry here in this division. She'll be your automatic division champion out here. I think a massive bull. It's just got a lot of good in terms of extra power and performance. I think a bull that's still really nice footed, really well in his testicular development at this stage of his game. I think one that just offers a lot of good and overall just body shape and design. Maybe one that you could just balance him up in terms of where his chest sits into him, correlation to his flank. Just give him a little more view and balance from the side. But I think just in terms of extra power and performance, he does carry that. Still has plenty of good structure underneath him as well. I think one that still offers a lot of good, really high quality representation for this division. Congratulations to her. It'd be nice to see him back out here in your drive.
And first place in Class 40 in automatic junior champion bull goes to entry number 2944 MQL Mr. German, exhibited by Michael Lehman of Leroy, Kansas. Congratulations. Now entering the ring will be Class 43 Senior Yearling Bulls.
we start off a new division here. The quality just keeps coming, and this heifer that's going to win our class here, I think, just puts a lot of good together. You study this one from the ground up. She's got some added foot size, some extra bone work to her. She's one that's really long and level at her hip and very flexible down her spine. I think this one's build is the kind that just keeps getting better all the time, and she's pretty good here today. Just one that reads with a tremendous amount of balance, tremendous amount of quality. That's a good female to lead this class off. Our heifer that's going to go second here, I think when you analyze this one, she's maybe just a notch cleaner and neater through her front 1/3 as our class winner. She's one for me, though, that just doesn't have the overall balance when you study her underline, especially from her chest floor through her navel and back into her flank. We'd just like to soften her up and neaten her up there. Just see her coming with a little more dimension through the center portion of her body, but two good heifers to get this HX division rolling.
Another nice single entry in this division as well, automatic division champ, and just a meat and potatoes kind of a bull in terms of extra power and body and design. I think a bull that's still really fresh in his condition for his age. I like that about him in the rig that he comes out here in. Really neat skull, designed one there in the front third of his skeleton. Balances up, blends in, transitions really nice, shoulder, forerib, on back. And maybe a bull, you could relax him in his spine as he gets out and goes and just softens him up at the surface a notch more, but still has a really nice foot underneath him. A bull that's really good in his bone work and the way his joints are laid into him. You like the added power and performance and his freshness in his kind. Congratulations to him, high quality single entry as well. We'll see him back here shortly in the drive. Nice bull.
And high quality single entry here in this particular class. A female that reads with a lot of elegance up through her front 1/3. She's one that's bold in terms of her rib cage and the turn she has to her rib cage. Square hip, really flexible and correct in her hock down into her pasterns. Just a high quality female. Looking forward to getting this one back out here with some competition in a few moments.
And placings over in your HX female show are as followed. First place in class 21 goes to entry number 53, CF Red Candy, KO1, exhibited by Osby Farm of Meanville, Georgia. And second place in class 21 goes to entry number 12, JCR Stella Validated 2210 ET, exhibited by Jenkins Cattle Ranch of Dale, Indiana. And those will automatically be your junior heifer calf champions. And placings in class 23, first place and automatic senior heifer calf goes to entry number 29, Chasa Miss Stockman 2296 J28, exhibited by Shannon Herefords of West Point, Tennessee. Now entering the ring will be class 25 senior heifer calves. And over in your Beef Builder Bull Show, first place in class 40 goes to entry number 2944 MQL Miss Jeremiah J605, exhibited by Michael Lehman of Leroy, Kansas. And first place in class 43, an automatic senior bull champion goes entry number 3961 AAAC Mighty Mouse 243H, exhibited by Hutton Bedford of Holtom City, Texas. We're now ready to select your grand champion Beef Builder Bull. Again, we are ready to select your champion Beef Builder Bull over in your Bromby show.
Another good class, and some differences here in this too, and I'll be the first to admit, this heifer, I'm going to lead the class off with her. When she first come in, she was pretty tense, and I maybe didn't get the best look at her, but I'm a firm believer you got to study these things the whole time they're in the ring and not let one bad look skew your opinion of what the cattle actually are. This female does have a little more set to her hind leg than maybe what's ideal, but I think it's her body, it's her boldness through the center portion of her body back into her flank, and when you get behind her, I think there's just a shot more muscle there in this female. Maybe not quite the attractiveness of some of the others we've seen in the previous classes, but in terms of just being a good brood cow, one that's easy fleshing and going to be low maintenance on down the road, I think she fits the bill. This heifer in second, she's one that maybe is a notch trimmer today in terms of her condition, and I think that works for her and it works against her as well. She's one that maybe is a nickel more attractive up about her front end, but she gets at the same time, she gives up some of the softness through the center of her body back into her flank. She's another one maybe you'd like to change her hock ever so slightly in the way it's designed, see her just be a notch more flexible, but that's two very functional females here in this particular class.
We'll get out here in your beef builder champion lineup for your bull division, and you know, not the numbers out here in terms of the, you know, just a pile of them, but boy, I think all the bulls that came through this ring offer a lot of good for this breed and just exemplifies what they can do through this program and building up and the useful parts and pieces that all these bulls bring to the table, and people ringside and the folks out back can, you know, make those adjustments on which ones, you know, would suit them the most ideal out here. You know, for us, we'll go out there and just pick, you know, maybe my kind or what suits me the best, but I think everybody, you know, knows ringside what works best for your program and what directions you guys want to head, because I think the quality was there. You know, we read in those first few divisions, all those cattle were just good in terms of their build and their balance and design. I think bulls that were so good in their feature and their foot design, bulls that get out and go work and cover some surface area and handle it really, really well. And then we ran into a pair of bulls out of those last two divisions that just in terms of overall product and what they're built to do and bring to the table offer a lot of good in terms of, you know, their added muscle and shape and design. Maybe bulls that we thought we could tweak a little bit in terms of structure and design just a notch more compared to those few younger divisions, but I think just in terms of the good pieces, the extra mass and the extra feature, those bulls had it. For me out here, it probably breaks down between the two of these younger bulls out here and a few of their reserves just in terms of the quality they bring to the table, and you just kind of break through them bulls a little bit and what suits us the best and just in terms of types and kind. That bull that won the first division in terms of just how he blended together, balanced up so nice from his head to his shoulder to his forerib. I think a bull that was big bodied, he's big hipped, really like the squareness and the levelness of this bull. I think one that reads really true out through his spine, out through his tail, head, and hip, has a really functional, attractive hind leg, still with plenty of mass and shape to him. Is he as well balanced from his chest to his flank as a few on down to the lineup? No, but in terms of just being a little rawer in his condition at this stage of maturity, but still has a lot of usefulness and good to him, I like that bull quite well. I think one that's serious contention out here. The bull out of the second division, in terms of just extra power and performance and looseness of skeleton. I think a bull maybe that's so loose in the way this one's designed and down in his foot, he's also a little too soft at some points. He kind of wants to just be a little extra soft in the way he handles his ankle at times, but I think he has plenty of range of motion, plenty of flexibility, and when this one's parked, boy, he draws up. He's extra wide, extra square, got plenty of rib and shape to him, ties in really neat to his shoulder, ties in high. I think maybe a bull that's a little more massive on the top side of his skeleton and wonder his overall size will project out, but I think one in just terms of high quality pieces, that bull has a bunch of good in him as well. We talked two other divisions there that maybe just need to be a little freer in the way they get out and go, but you really like the meat and shape in them. But folks, I think ringside, let's commend all these bull showers out here in your Beef Builder show. We'll go get you a Grand and Reserve. Congratulations again, high quality group.
We get our division winners back out here for this HX show, and once again, I'm very, very pleased with the quality that we've got here today, folks. Not as many numbers as we had in our previous division, but the qualities are out there with it. Well, we've got some heifers out here that just put together a lot of things that I really look for in cattle when I sort them, not only in the show ring, but when I sort them at home in our own program. And I like cattle that are built good from the ground up, cattle that are good structured, good structured cattle last longer where I live, and I think that's first and foremost. We got to have that right. If you got cattle that are built correctly from the ground up, all your pieces are going to fit together, and we've had that in these two divisions so far. And along with that, we've got some cattle that have some added look, some added foot size and bone, and those are extras, and when you get them, you better take them. They're getting harder to come by. But once again, I won't go through and talk each of these females here. We've already talked them a few minutes ago. I'll show you the way I like them. Let's give these exhibitors a big round.
And your grand champion beef builder bull over in your Bromby show goes to entry number 1015. BB Rockstar exhibited by Briscoe Cattle from Mitchell, Indiana. And your reserve champion beef builder bull goes to entry number 2517 FLC Holy Water 106J exhibited by Michael and Nancy Farmer of Sims, Texas. Congratulations. We are now ready for Class 41 late spring heifer calves in your full-blood purebred Bromby show. And your grand champion HX female goes to entry number 53, CF Red Candy K01, exhibited by Ospley Farms of Meadsville, Georgia. Congratulations. And your reserve grand champion Hex female goes to entry number 29, Kashma Mount Stockman, exhibited by Shannon Herefords of West Point, Tennessee. Congratulations.
Excellent way to kick off the full-blood show over here on the Braunvies side. I think the young lady, she brings in the June calf, the youngest one out here. But boy, this one's parts and pieces are built extremely, extremely good. You know, maybe not most in terms of just condition, but, you know, the youngest one out here. But I like this one's parts and pieces as nice as any. Big hipped, really square hipped, extremely attractive hip and hind leg in her. Big-footed, a female that's as sound as any out here. I think just gets out and covers the surface, really balances up extremely nice from this side. Still going to have nice body shape. You can see this one project out. And where I really like this female, when this young lady gets her parked, she ties extremely high out of the top side of her skeleton. She's not the cleanest throated, but it sits appropriately. I think as that one matures, is going to make an extremely nice show heifer and cow for this young lady. Nice job. Really nice way to start off this full-blood show. The heifer that's going to go in second, I think in terms of softness and depth of body and just the overall design, follows my class winner as close out here. I think one that blends really nice. Young man gets her parked from the side, gets her top down. She'll level out in that hip, and that's where I'd change her just ever so slightly, but she's still plenty flexible, plenty soft in her body. I like her design as well. I think one that offers a lot of good as well. And the female that's going to round out the class, the older heifer out here, long-sided, long, fronted kind of a female, one that's maybe not as neat and attractive in the way her hip and hind legs assemble to her, but she still gets out and goes. She's still fundamentally correct at the surface. I appreciate that about her. Maybe I'd like to see where she ends up in terms of balance from her flank to her chest, but in terms of just added length, added range of motion, still an high-quality female. Nice trio of females there. Congratulations to them on starting off the full-blood show.
And placings in Class 49 of your full-blood purebred Bronze heifer show. First place goes into number 3005, Alexander Beaumont Summer, exhibited by Katie Alexander of Brashear, Texas. And second place goes into number 4766, RJE Lily Mae 243K, exhibited by Rowdy Etchison of Amarillo, Texas. And third place in that class goes into number 4340, Miss JMS Beth K312, exhibited by Jalen Smith of Rosebud, Arkansas. Congratulations. Now entering the ring will be Class 50 Early Spring Heifer Calves over in your full-blood purebred Bronze show. And over in your Black Hereford show, we are ready to start your percentage female show with Class 35 Spring Heifer Calves. Again, we are ready to start your percentage female show with Class 35. Those around ringside over on your Brahmi show, I would like to take this time to reintroduce your judge for today, Mr. Tim Schaefer. Mr. Schaefer is the owner of Schaefer Show Cattle with his wife, Emily, son, Braylon, and Kohler, and they run about 250 head of multi-breed cows, focusing on show and sale cattle with an exclusive push for genetic sales. Tim has judged multiple state fairs, World Beef Expo, as well as North American and Fort Worth and Keystone shows. Could you please join me in welcoming Mr. Tim Schaefer for coming out and evaluating your open Bromby show?
An awfully nice female to start off a new division here on the Black Hereford side. Young lady's brought us a female here that's just really correct in the way she's designed from the ground up. A female that's super flexible off her feet and legs. She's one that's got some length and extension to her, and she's still got the dimension and the rib shape to go along with it. Puts it all together in a fairly balanced package. Looking forward to getting this one back here in this new show we got rolling here. We've had a lot of quality thus far, and I think it's going to continue by the looks of this heifer calf.
And first place in Class 35 of your percentage females goes to entry number 25, BFA Witchy Woman, exhibited by Bennett Farms and J.C. Sims of Anderson, Ohio. That would automatically be your spring heifer calf champion. Congratulations. Now entering the ring will be Class 37 junior heifer calves.
A nice trio out here again. All three of these exhibitors doing a nice job getting them put together out here. I think a female that's going to rise to the top for me in this class is this young lady's tiger striped one out here in the lead. In terms of just over pounds of performance, is she the biggest? No, but I think just in terms of the way this one's assembled and hinged together, she's the most appropriately, and she's the most balanced in that regard. I think another one that holds the advantage in terms of attractiveness, the way this one's just built up to the front third of her skeleton, just a little extra range of motion all through her shoulder and down into her knee. She offers the most flexibility as she gets out and goes off the rear too as well. Still plenty of balance, still plenty of body in this one. I think there's plenty of shape and hip in her as well. I think when the young lady gets her parked, she still gives you a high quality, attractive look. It's just the extra soundness and functional pieces that bring her to the top of this class. I think a female here in two, a little bolder built one that's going to go here next in terms of extra body and size. I think this one has that, and the advantage of the class. Just a female for me, and I think in where she holds the advantage over the heifer in three, she just is a little softer off those rear two as she gets out and goes. I would like to pick her up in her pins and just square her up and reassemble the way her hips design in her, but I think in terms of extra body and extra design, I think that one has the advantage there. Young lady's doing a nice job with this female. It's going to round out the class. One that has plenty of body and the dimension to her. A female maybe just a shot plainer compared to a few that were above her in this class. And where maybe I'd alter this one is just change her the way she gets out of her shoulder and down into her knee, the way this one likes to open up and roll out of the front third of her skeleton. But I think in terms of still having body and balance and a nice view from the side, young lady gets her park. She gives you that. Congratulations. Nice three of females right there.
And first place over in Class 50 early spring heifer calves in your full-blood purebred Bromview show. First place goes to entry number 2940 MQL Miss Kit Kat K6242, exhibited by Michael Lehman of Leroy, Kansas. And second place goes to entry number 3248 SW Isabel, exhibited by Natalie Zenenbein from Campbellsburg, Indiana. Third place in that class goes to entry number 4530 TTHF Fresh out of Toronto, exhibited by Morgan Hill of Lexington, Indiana. Congratulations. Now entering the ring will be Class 51 late junior heifer calves.
Pair of females here in this percentage class, I think have some similarities to them. We study these heifers, and I think in terms of width and dimension from behind, they're pretty similar. I think there's some give and take on structure between the two, so we set those aside, and I think it's this heifer up front here's presence and look and added boldness through her rib cage that makes me prefer her over the heifer in second. She's one that just really demands your attention, the way she's designed up through her front end there and her head and neck. She's one, if you want to pick on her, maybe she's not quite as flexible in her hock. Maybe she doesn't get out and move with as much flexibility out of her front too, but I still think she has the advantage through her front end and her shoulder structure over the heifer in second. Heifer in second's one that's tremendously extended. I think when we compare her to the one in front of her, she just doesn't have the overall mass and dimension, especially through the center portion of her body. Another one maybe would like to set back in the angle to her shoulder ever so slightly, but good pair of females, some give and take in that pair.
And placings for Class 37 of your percentage female show over in your Black Hereford side, and automatic junior heifer calf division champion goes entry number 46, Triple T's 4K Camille by Y702 ET, exhibited by Triple T Farms of Iruka, Mississippi. And second place and reserve division champion goes entry number 13 at JCR's 22 Rev 2212, exhibited by Jenkins Cattle Ranch of Harrodsburg, Kentucky. Congratulations to those exhibitors. Now entering the ring will be Class 38 junior heifer calves over in your percentage female show.
Nice class here in your full blood show. I think a practical one for me to just lead off. This is the biggest footed one. It's the squarest at the surface, and you work up to the top side of this one's skeleton. Still balances up really nice when she gets her parked out here. I think one that's still good hipped and just ties a lot of good things together. And where she just kind of runs in the class, for me, is her foot size, her foot shape. The way she's constructed over her skeleton, I think, is just is really, really good. Is she as big-bodied as some out here? No, but I think she's still immature in her body stage. I think this one's still young and progressive. I like the shape. I like the turn to her rib. I think this one's still attractive and gives you a nice look from the side as well. Not the squarest one out here, but this female's still square enough for me out here as well. I think one that's just super sound, super soft at the surface. I think just a really nice place for me to start in this class. The young man is the female that's going to go in second. I think closely follows my class winner in just terms of the way she's constructed at the ground. I think a female that has plenty of body to her. I think when the young man gets her parked and all put together, still bounces up extremely nice from the side. I just like her fundamental pieces at the ground that keeps her up here in this second hole. Extremely soft, extremely functional as she gets out and goes. The heifer that's going to come here in third, I think another one that's good at the surface, one that gives you a really high quality look, extremely attractive, extremely fresh through that front third of her skeleton up through her head. I think one that's just really neat and tidy the way she's designed. I just need to soften this one up in her spine as she gets out and goes. And I think a little bit of that's fighting the halter out here and just kind of learning the road in the show road out here. But I think one that has some really neat pieces. Young lady, bring her back and just keep driving with that one. I think she'll soften up and free up a little bit for us out here because I like her parts and her pieces that she has. Young man, big powerful one that's going to round out the class in terms of just extra mass and extra muscle there. I think one that's got plenty of performance in her. You really appreciate that about her. She's a little plainer out for me out here comparably to a few. And for me, when she gets out and goes, I'd like to just see her soften up there, off her rear to a little bit. She likes to drive into the ground a little harder for some, but I still, this one's plenty functional in the way her skeletal design is. She just needs to just free up a little bit out here for me today and be a little sharper as she gets out and goes. Congratulations to those 4 exhibitors on a nice class of females.
And placings for class 51 over in your late junior heifer calves in your Bravi show. First place goes to entry number 3231, S.W. Nicole, exhibited by Elin Zingerbein from Campbellsburg, Indiana. Second place in that class goes to JBB Crystal 24K, exhibited by Colt Pittman of Canadian, Texas. And third place in that class goes to SRF Janet 219, exhibited by Adeline Knapp of Salmon, Indiana. And fourth place in that class goes to entry number 4677 at JBB Dolly 15K, exhibited by Eric Pettit of Page, Texas. Congratulations. Now entering the ring will be class 52 early junior heifer calves.
Well, an interesting class here in the percentage show, and I'm not sure there's one in this class that really puts together all the pieces in a perfect package, and it took a little more time to sort through it here. Female that's going to win for me, I guess, puts together the best combination of structural correctness while still maintaining a look of balance and quality. Female that's probably a little more moderate in her frame size. I'm being honest, she's probably a little rounder in her muscle type and pattern than what I prefer, but I think at the end of the day, she's the one that has the muscle. She's the one that's the most correct in terms of the angles to her knee and her hock on down to the ground. Female, maybe we'd like to just lean her up a little bit and neaten her up through her front third, drop her down in the center of her body, but it's her muscle and her structural correctness that get her to the top of the class. This heifer in second's one that's interesting for me. No doubt she's the biggest framed one in here. She's the longest bodied. She's the most extended, and I like all those things about her. she's so neat and elegant up through her front end. I really appreciate her there. She's coming at us pretty green in condition today, though, and I think it probably works to her disadvantage a little bit. This one looks like she's going to be a little later maturing, and with that said, she just gives up some of the softness through the center of her body, some of the overall power when we get behind her. At times, she maybe doesn't set those rear two ankles down with quite as much cushion as what she needs to, but that's a female I think time's going to play in her favor because there's a lot of quality built into this one. From here on down, I think it gets a little closer, and this young man's heifer that comes next is one that looks as good as any of them on the standstill. She's square built, she's bold featured, she's got some added bone to her, still maintains some attractiveness. I think it's when we get her on the move where we'd like to change her. She gets just a little straighter up front there in her shoulder and the way she's designed there, and with that, she maybe just doesn't get out and travel with as much reach and as long a stride as what she needs to, but a lot of quality in that one when she's on the park. Female that comes next is probably as long-strided as any we have in the class as far as getting out and taking a long step. She's still a little tighter in the angle to her knee, though. She's one that we'd just like to neaten up from her chest back into her flank and give her some more balance there. But 4 heifers, awfully different from one another. That's how I saw them. If you want to do something a little different, probably wouldn't argue with you.
And first place in Class 38 Junior Heifer Calves over in your percentage Black Hereford Female Show are as followed. First place goes to entry number 40, CA Mile High, exhibited by Landon Elson of Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. Second place in that class goes to entry number 32, LC Miss Black Hereford 2200, exhibited by LC Ranch of Crockett, Texas. And third place in that class goes to entry number 1, CT's Triple Your Arrows, exhibited by CT Cattle of Phil Campbell, Alabama. And fourth place in that class goes to entry number 16, PF Classy Ruby Resolve 804, exhibited by Peters Farm of Hamiltonville, North Carolina. Congratulations. Now entering the ring will be Class 39 Senior Heifer Calves.
Another nice class out here, but boy, I think we got a really nice female to lead off of this one. This young lady's calf here, in terms of just balance, look, design, it just really ties it together. When she gets her parked right there, boy, this one gives you a really high quality look. That one's so neat in the way she's built through her head, top of her crest, down to the bottom of her chest. I think one balances up really, really nice. And then for me, again, where she holds the advantage, this one off of, in her skeletal design and all the way down to the ground is just so good and true the way she's built. I like her foot design and just the way it gets out and goes, and her shape to her rib is really, really nice and transitions back. She's big hipped, she's square in that regard. I think one that just gives you extremely high quality balanced silhouette from the side, and then boy, her running gears and the way she puts them down, it just is really good as that one gets out and goes. I think that's a high quality calf that young lady brought out here for us. Congratulations to her. Nice job. Young man that's going to go here in second. A little in terms of extra broodiness and just extra cow-like feature, she has it. And she's big-bodied, she's big-centered. I think a female that's very maternal in the way she's designed in that regard. I think in terms of just look, she's not as sharp as the female there that just wins the class. And I'd like to just tuck her and redesign her shoulder design, make her just a shot more flexible out of her front third of her skeleton. But I think just in terms of overall body and maternal look from the side, and you get around this female, there's plenty of mass and quality to her as well. Still goes and good enough off the rear too for me out here. I think just a heck of a brood cow for this young man in the future. And when he gets her set up, she still gives you a nice balanced look from the side. The 2 heifers that are going to round out the class, I think in just terms of just structural and design. Nice job. The female that's going to come here in 3 is just a shot softer in the way she's constructed out through her spine. I think she's just a shot more flexible as she gets out and goes. Maybe not as the attractiveness or the balance a few heifers above her have, but I think in terms of just being extra mobile from the rear too and just being a little freer and easier in the way this one transitions from her shoulder back, she holds the advantage over the heifer there in 4. The heifer there in 4, I think in terms of just foot and feature, you like the pieces this one has. I think she comes with a lot of good in that regard. I'd like to just soften her up in her overall type and kind out here for me today. Relax a little bit as she gets out and goes. Just give her a shade more balance, but you love the added foot and feature this one brings to the table. I think has a lot of useful parts for them down the road as she gets out and goes. Nice class, extremely nice female there to win that last class. Congratulations to all them.
And placings in Class 52 over in your Bromley side are as followed. First place goes to entry number 3229 S.W. Chesla, exhibited by Elon Zingenberg from Campbellsburg, Indiana. Elin Zingenberg from Campbellsburg, Indiana. Second place goes to entry number 4822 Miss GBR Haiti, exhibited by Jeremiah Gazdas from Plastone, Texas. And third place in that class goes to entry number 4676 JBB Jane 3K, exhibited by Eric Pettit of Page, Texas. And fourth place in that class goes to entry number 3007, Alexander Sambo Honeybun, exhibited by Katie Alexander of Brashear, Texas. Now entering the ring will be the selection of your junior calf champion.
We've got 3 class winners back out here to pick you a division champion, and we just brought these 2 single entries in here on with the last class. So we'll go back through and talk those 2 here along with the winner out of the first class. A young man's heifer here out of the first class came to the top of that class because she had the advantage in terms of her structure, and I think she still does here among this trio of females. She's one that's got a really nice hind leg, really soft down at the ground. She's one that's got just chock full of muscle, and maybe doesn't have quite the swoop to that rib cage that 2 of these heifers behind her do, but I think she's one that's still bold in her rib cage, still a lot of goodness in that female. This heifer out of the second class here, one that just gives you an awesome look in terms of being just super feminine and refined about her head and neck. The way she blends from her chest all the way up to her chin there just gives you a really awesome look. She's one that's really good in her forerib back into her flank as well, super square hipped. Well, I'd like to change this one. She's a little smaller footed than what I'd prefer. Maybe just doesn't set down with quite the authority and softness off those rear 2 ankles of what she needs to, but when she gets her parked, I think that one gives you a really elite look. Super nice female out of the second class. Female out of the third class here, one that has so much extension. She's one that's super long hipped. Maybe she comes at us a little flatter when you get around behind her and just doesn't have quite the genuine shape that the 2 in front of her do. Maybe not quite the wow factor in terms of being as clean neck, but I think she's one that's neck still sets in her shoulder correctly. She's one that once again, I think we might like to see her set down just a little softer off her rear too as well when we get her out on the go. But excuse me, that was very loud. But 3 females here that ultimately all have quality and things to bring to the table. I'll give them another look here and show you how I like them in this division.
We get all these class winners and seconds back out here in your first division of the full-blood Bronby show, and well, I think a really good group out here. The quality in these calves is just so good. I really, really like these class winners out here, and just in terms of their build and their design, cattle that just read with a lot of future in terms of their structural qualities and all the good that they have to offer. And I think there's, in terms of just look and the design and some added shape, there's some tweaks, and I mean, they're in different stages of their maturity, but I think all these females out here in front of me, and then even the seconds, have a bright, bright future ahead of them. But boy, I'm extremely pleased with this group. That first class that started all off, you talk about a awesome built one in terms of being big hipped, wide pinned, huge footed, awesome in her feature, really nice in her bone work. Love the shape and the turn to her body. Like we talked in class, is she just the wildest necked one? No, but boy, does it sit appropriately. That calf's loose skin, it'll grow into her as that one matures. I think that thing's going to make an awesome big bred and a whale of a cow for that young lady. Love the parts and pieces of that calf. After that, won that second class, really attractive. She won that class on just her freshness, her soundness, and her overall design. Wasn't the most in any areas, but she was the best built one out there for me in that group. The calf out of the third class, another just sound, big-footed, big-featured kind of a female, good in her body kind, good in her lines, good in her look. Maybe not as square and level pinned as some out here, but I think just in terms of the fundamental qualities, boy, she sure has it. And then that calf out of the last class, talk about just putting a lot of things together. Neat skulled, neat looking, very, very attractive, very high tying, bounces up so nice from the side, bold in her body, awesome in her hip. Really like that one's structure. Maybe not as wide as a few out here, but I think in terms of having enough, she sure does. Awesome, awesome group. Folks ringside, let's congratulate them. I'll go get you a calf and reserve calf in this first division.
And your junior calf champion goes inch number 3229 SW Chisla, exhibited by Elon Zingelberg from Campbellsburg, Indiana.
Young man pulls that second in, and just in terms of body and cow-like feature, boy, we sure appreciate that one for her type and kind. Just a lot of good in that one. I think that young man's going to have a lot of fun with her. There's another one out here that just hits me with a lot of future, but boy, her fundamental parts and pieces are so good. Young lady out of Class 1, you'll have your reserve. Congratulations.
In your reserve champion division goes to entry number 3005, Alexander Beaumont Summer, exhibited by Katie Alexander of Brashear, Texas. Congratulations. We are now ready for Class 55 winter heifer calves over in your Purebred Bromby show. And over in your percentage Black Hereford female show, your senior heifer calf champion goes into number 40, CA Mile High, exhibited by Landon Elson of Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. And your reserve senior heifer calf goes to entry number 33, LC Miss Erica 2162, exhibited by LC Ranch of Crockett, Texas. Congratulations. Now in the ring is Class 41 senior heifer calves.
Well, a good class here as we progress into this percentage show, and a female that's going to win this class here is one that's just massive. I think when you study this, and just from a dimensional standpoint, there's so much to this girl in terms of her rib cage, and not only is she big-bodied, but she's got some power to go behind it. This one's big-hipped. You want to talk about foot size and foot shape, I think you need to look at this one because she's probably as big-footed, as good-footed as any as we've seen in here all day today. Puts it together in a nice balanced package. She's not the freakiest necked one we've got in this class, but I think in terms of balance, of power, dimension, and just overall maternal look, she's got to win the class. This heifer in second's one that just gives you a really, really neat look when we get her apart. She's one that's super attractive and level in her lines. She's a female that maybe gives up some of the overall depth and dimension to her rib cage and just some of that soft, easy fleshing look that class winner has. Heifer that's a little more hesitant when we get her out on the move, but still I think she has the advantage over the heifer in third in terms of look and style and just overall quality. The heifer that comes next, she's another one that's attractive. I think she gives you a neat look up front. She's one that's level at her hip, maybe a little rounder in the way her tail head sets in her, maybe just not quite as deep and just easy fleshing looking right there through the center of her body, but a female that's still relatively good in terms of structure. just need to give her a little more dimension and look to get her up in the class.
And first place in Class 41 over in your percentage Black Hereford division goes to entry number 26, Womack Lassie 1169, exhibited by Bennett Farms of Eureka, Mississippi. And second place goes to entry number 20, RCF Ransom Haley J45903G, exhibited by Caitlin Cole of Lancaster, Kentucky. Third place in that class goes to entry number 47, YF Dice 22, exhibited by Anna Kate McGee from Anniston, Ohio. Congratulations. Now in the ring is class 42.
A nice, interesting class out here, and I think all these are just built a little differently in their types and kinds, and if you wanted to just reverse a few of these things in the way that they align, I wouldn't argue with you. I think just in terms of degrees of how they're assembled, for me, the darker-hided one's going to lead off. A little bigger-footed, featured kind of an animal, one that still comes with some balance and some substance, an animal that still has plenty of softness for me. I like to just soften her up in her spine as she gets out and goes, but I think when the young man gets her parked, she still presents extremely nice from the side. She's long, she's still level out of her hip, but boy, she does have a big set of running gears underneath her, still handles it attractive enough for me as she gets out and goes, and still a little neater as you view her from the side and just the way she's assembled up through her head and neck. The female that's going to go into a little softer, a little more softness in just her rib shape and rib design. With that, she just gets a little plainer and wastier out through that front third of her body cavity, and just need to make her a little sharper the way she's assembled in that regard. But I think a soft-structured, big-footed one that gets out with plenty of comfort and ease. Kind of a really nice cowy look, kind of a female there for that young lady. And then the two heifers that are going to round out the class. In terms of just balance and design, I think we could square these two up just a notch more comparably. I think the young man that's going to go in 3 just comes with a shot more rib shape and overall softness to her skeleton. I think a female that still has plenty of flexibility to her, I'd like to just square her up in her pin set, drop her in her flank, comparably to where her chest sits in her, and just give her a little bit more balance of quality from the side out here today. And the young lady that's going to round out the class, I think just in terms of the way this one sets in from her flank to her chest, just need to soften her up from end to end, and some will come with that with maturity, just to square her up and give her a shot more stoutness to feature down low compared to the few above her. But a nice class of 4, all with some differences, but a nice group of them. Congratulations to those exhibitors.
We've got 2 class winners out here in their percentage show to pick you a division champion. This class winner out of that first class there, just a complete powerhouse in terms of dimension and substance and foot size and bone, and I think that still rings true here when we get her back out here with her contemporaries in this division. Heifer out of the second class. She was a single entry, so this is the first time we've seen her, but this heifer offers a tremendous amount of quality as well. You read the angles this one has to her knee and her hock and on down to the ground, and I think she suits me there. She's one that still comes with a really nice look. She's attractive. She's really level down her top line. Maybe doesn't read with quite the fullness and stoutness out the top side of her hip and down into her lower quarters, that heifer right in front of her. But I think a female that offers a tremendous amount of quality. I'll pick you a division and reserve champion here. Let's give them a round of applause right quick.
And your intermediate yearling female champion goes to entry number 26, Womack Lassie 1169, exhibited by Bennett Farms of Eucra, Mississippi. Congratulations. And coming in contention is entry number 20. And your division reserve champion goes to entry number 20, RCF Ransom Haley J45903G, exhibited by Caitlin Cole of Lancaster, Kentucky. And placings over in class 55 of your Bromby show are as followed. First place goes to entry number 1802, JBB Jenny 101J, exhibited by Coy Pittman of Canadian, Texas. And second place goes to entry number 2937, ECL Miss Jenny J619, exhibited by Annabelle Lehman of Leroy, Kansas. And third place goes to entry number 4767, JBB Jonah 142J, exhibited by Rowdy Etcherson of Amarillo, Texas. And fourth place in that class goes to entry number 2943, LOF Miss Janie J610, exhibited by Sean and Marie Lehman of Leroy, Kansas. Congratulations. Now in the ring is class 56.
A nice group out here, and I think the heifer's going to lead off for me just in terms of being functional and soft and just gets out and covers the ground. I think a heifer that rises to the top for me. And in other areas, I think she holds some advantages in. The design of this one's shoulder, the smoothness of this one's blade, I think just ties in really, really nice. Ties in seamlessly into her forerib, bounces her back. She's also probably the squarest hipped one out here that has the most attractive and fundamental right, hip and hind leg underneath her. Is she the biggest bodied, softest centered one we've seen all day? No, but I still think she just bounces up as the most appropriate from the side. Love her fundamental pieces that she has to offer, and then blends a lot of those pieces into a really attractive design and just puts it all together extremely well. I like the way she's assembled through her head, her neck, her crest. She gives an attractive look as well. I think we have a pair of heifers here in 2 and 3 that are very similar. Maybe a females that are just a little more off in their hip and their hind leg, the way it's designed, but I still think they're functional. I still think they're big-footed kind of females. There's plenty of body and design in them. This one that goes out here in second just has a little bit more to her compared with the female in third. She's a little bolder about her rib. She's a little stouter about her feature, but I think the same goes, the same kind of types and kinds here with this female that's going to roll out here in third. Like the design and the overall body shape she has, a little neater about her skull and the way this one's designed through her front 1/3 of her body. For me out here, she holds the advantage over the heifer in 4. Just a little softer, a little more flexible out of those rear 2 as this one gets out and goes. Still a high quality female in that regard. The female here in 4, I think in terms of just having some shape and some hip to her, I think she has a lot of good in that regard. She's got a nice set of feet and legs underneath her in terms of foot and bone and the way it's assembled to her. For me, I like to just see her soften up in those rear 2. Likes to drive the front end of those toes in the ground just a notch more as she gets out and goes. But just in terms of balance and body and quality, she still has a lot of that. The female that's going to round out the class is massive and bold in her rib shape. Love that about her. I think this one's swoop to her rib is really, really good. She has plenty of that, plenty of maternal looks from the top side. Young man gets her parked, does a really nice job. Still a lot of balance and good in this female. For me, it's where I got to change her is at the surface. I think this female off of both four corners just struggles a little bit as she gets out and goes. Maybe doesn't have as much reach and flexibility as a few in the class, but boy, you still appreciate her top side pieces. I think free that one up just a notch more. Still going to turn into an awfully high quality female for him. Nice group of there. Congratulations again.
Well, an awfully nice pair of black Herefords here in our percentage show, and heifer that's going to lead the class off here. I think she's one that is certainly attractive. You study her about her head and her neck, the way she ties in there at the top side and the point of her shoulder. She's one that reads with a lot of quality up front. You study this one over the top side of her skeleton and how much power and shape she has out her hip, the way her rib cage comes out of her top. She's just tremendously bold rib. She's one when we get her out on the go. She's laid back in her knees. She's good in her hock. And with that being said, she's one that can get out and travel around the ring with some flexibility. Maybe not the biggest footed, biggest bone one we've seen, but I think one that reads with just a lot of quality, a lot of look, a lot of presence, just overall a really nice female here to start this class off. Young man's heifer in second, I think is probably as flexible and long-strided and easy moving as anything we've seen thus far in the show. She's so flexible in her structure. She's got some foot size and bone to her. One that is long and extended. With that, she probably gives up just some of the true dimension of the heifer in front of her. She's a little higher in her twist, one that just doesn't have the fullness and shape up high and down low into her quarter. She's one for me. I'd like to refine her udder a little bit at this stage of the game as well, but I think a female that in terms of structural quality certainly brings a lot to the table here within this particular class in this show.
We get into this division of junior or senior heifer calves. I think a nice fall division of females, and we get these two class winners back out here, respective seconds. A nice group of females. I think we worked through this dark pattern female comes back out of that class winner, and right here is why she won that class. You can get this one set up from the side and get her all leveled out. I think a lot of good in this female. Starting from the surface up, she's big-footed, she's big-featured. She's still really smooth in her bone work, though. And then you just tie this one together. She's big-hipped, she's opened up. A female that's actually had a little more opened up in her chest fork compared to a few other heifers out here. Still balances up awfully nice from the side. Still ties in really good out of that shoulder and gives you an attractive look from the side. Maybe just doesn't blend her underline as good as some out here, but I think when that comes and maturity comes to this one, her outline pieces are truly really good. I think just a lot of outline good pieces there to go on and just build into a really, really good foundation kind of a female. The one that won that second class, just a smooth, ladylike female here to win that one. I think one in terms of just structure and design holds an advantage in that class. Then we talked about maybe not being as big-bodied and as soft as some out here, but I think she still transitions and ties in extremely nice. A high quality pair. I like the group of seconds over here, but for me it comes down to your two class winners. Young man out of that first class, you'll have division champion in this group. Young lady out of class 2, you'll be reserved. Congratulations to you guys.
And your division champion goes to entry number 1802, JBB Jenny 101J, exhibited by Coy Pittman of Canadian, Texas. And your reserve division goes to entry number 4342, Miss J.M. Demi J253, exhibited by Jalen Smith of Rosebud, Arkansas. Congratulations. Now entering the ring will be Class 59 late summer yearling heifers. And placings for Class 45 over in your percentage Black Hereford ring are as follows. First place and automatic junior yearling champion goes to entry number 48, Triple T's 27J Broadway by SD16, exhibited by Triple T Farms of Eureka, Mississippi. And second place out of that class and reserve division winner goes entry number 3, 2H's Sonic Rose and 101, exhibited by Austin Herm of Philpott, Kentucky. Congratulations to those exhibitors. Now in the ring is Class 45.
An interesting class here on the Black Hereford side. I think the female that's going to win the class here does so from just a dimension standpoint. A female that is really, really pretty headed, and I think when she first walks in the ring, she certainly demanded my attention in that aspect. One that gives you a nice, neat look there about her head and the neck, but more particularly the top side of her neck. Female that has a lot of dimension to her, and you study this one from behind. She's got a lot of genuine width and shape to her. but she's pushing plenty of condition for me. I think as you study her down into her chest floor, we'd like to change her in her structure as well. I think with that added condition, she's just not getting out and moving with quite as much flexibility out of her front end, not as much cushion and set to her knee as what she needs to. But at the end of the day, this one's still got to win the class just because she's got more power. She's square built. Female in second, on the other hand, is one that is flexible on the move. She's one that's got a lot of flexibility to her hock and her pastern, and I appreciate that about her a great deal. I contemplated this pair of heifers here because this one is so much better structured. This heifer for me, though, is just a little piecier when you study her over the top side of her skeleton. She doesn't blend as smoothly at her neck-shoulder junction there on the top side. She wants to get a little lower pinned and just doesn't have quite the overall mass and dimension when you study her through the rear third of her body as the heifer that wins the class. But all in all, this heifer here is still a really functional kind of female that's going to go on and make a tremendous brood cow, I think, for this young lady here.
Nice pair of single entry class winners here to do this division with these two, but quality's good and the cattle are good, and the young people sticking them are just as good as well. I think do a really nice job getting these two put together. The one that would have won the first class in terms of just freshness, design, just soft haired, soft design, soft featured. I think just extreme amount of quality in this one. She ties in really nice. I love the way this one's assembled to her shoulder, the way it ties into her head and her neck. I think one that's got plenty of body. I like her hip. Really like this one's hip, hind leg, and the way it gets out and goes. Maybe open this one up at her knee ever so slightly, but I think that one just ties a lot of good things in there together. After that would have won the second class in terms of just being bold featured and neat design. It does in that fashion really well. I think one that maybe doesn't have as much balance to that heifer in front of her comparably to where her flank sits in and her chest floor sits in right now. And maybe one you just tweak her in the way her skull and neck is designed comparably to that one above her. But I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing because I still think it reads really good, and that female has a lot of good pieces. But boy, extremely nice pair. Young lady out of the first class, you'll be our division champion. Young lady out of class 2, you'll be reserve. Congratulations to you too.
And first place in Class 59 and automatic intermediate champion heifer goes to entry number 3227 SW Ma, exhibited by Elon Zingenberg from Campbellsburg, Indiana. And second place and reserve division goes to entry number 4669 SW Maggie 2138, exhibited by Aubrey Pettit of Page, Texas. Now entering the ring will be Class 63 spring yearling heifers. And go ahead, Andy.
Well, another nice class here on the Black Hereford side. This percentage female that's going to win this class is one that's just chock full of power. I think we study this female in terms of her rib cage and her hip, and there's a lot to appreciate here in one like this. She's still relatively flexible when we get her out on the move. Still gives us a nice maternal look about her head and neck, and blend those pieces together. I think she's got to win the class just because of her combination of the quality she has. Heifer in second, here's one that's really angular in her look, and I think we analyzed this one at her hip. We just like to square her up some there, raise those pins up. A female that maybe just doesn't have the body to match her chest to give us that nice balanced look the female in front of her does. Good pair of heifers, though.
And placings in Class 45 spring yearling female calves over on the percentage side are as follow. First place in Class 45 in automatic senior yearling female goes entry number 39, SCC 1950 Miss Sensation 2106, exhibited by Sammy Neef of Occoquan, Wisconsin. In second place and reserve division champion goes entry number 14, JCR's Crash Revolution Sonic 105, exhibited by Jenkins Cattle Ranch of Dale, Indiana. And placings in Class 47, first place goes entry number 2, 3C's Country Sunshine J112, exhibited by Colt Thomas of Phil Campbell, Alabama. And second place in that class goes to entry number 5, 3C's Impress Jasmine J01, exhibited by Culvert Cattle Farm of Anderson, Alabama. Now entering the ring is the selection of your yearling division champion heifer.
We got these two class winners out here to pick you a division winner, and that heifer out of that first class come to the top of it just because of her power and squareness and levelness, and we get her back out here, and I tell you what, that's a good female right there, folks. That's one that just gives you such a maternal look in the way she's designed, the way she's built. That's a good cow. That's the kind you wouldn't mind having a field full of them. This young lady here out of our second class, she was a single entry, and folks, I hope you're watching because this right here is what it's all about. She's having the time of her life out here showing this heifer, and sometimes we often forget what it's about, but this right here is it. She's been smiling the whole time she's been out here, and folks, we all need to take a lesson in that, including myself. She's brought us a really nice heifer here, one that is very angular. She's very feminine in her design. You know, when you compare her to that heifer in front of her there, she does probably give up just some of the overall mass and dimension through her rib cage, and when you get right behind her, but that's still a really functional female there, one that I like a great deal. I'll show you the way I like this division. Let's give these guys a round of applause.
Nice trio over here on our Bronvie side, and I think it's just a little flexibility and just the comfortableness of this female that's going to lead off the class that does so and holds her advantage to the first spot out here. And when the young lady gets her parked, I think still draws up in an attractive, balanced fashion. But boy, I just love the feet and legs on this one. I think she gets out and goes, just drives it with an extra gear or two out here for me, and that's where she holds the advantage. She's just a little more free and easy as that one gets out and hits the surface. I think one that still has plenty of body and design. She is not as overwhelmingly built on the stand as our heifer here in 2. Boy, I love this one here in 2 on the stand. The turn to her lower rib, the shape to her rib, the design of her hip, and even the design of her hip and hind leg on the stand looks like it'd be extremely functional. Young lady, you do a great job getting this thing presented out here. I like to just see this one cover the surface area with a little bit more flex and ease and just get out and go and grab with another gear, because I think this one has a lot of cool pieces on the top side of her skeleton. Nice job. And out here, then the young man that's going to be third in this class, I think an attractive sided one. For me, again, maybe just tweak the way this one's constructed down low. Open her up at her knee, turn her in on those front two a little bit, and just give her a little more flex and ease as she gets out and goes. But extremely good hipped female. You like the balance and the design of this one. I'd like to see her just get out and cover a little more surface as she goes, but high quality parts and pieces. Nice trio of females all the way through.
And over in your percentage Black Hereford female show, your yearling division champion goes to entry number 2, 3C's Country Sunshine J12, exhibited by Colt Thomas of Phil Campbell, Alabama. And your reserve yearling division champion goes to entry number 49, Triple T's 48H Joy by Thyme ET, exhibited by Anna Kate McGee of Eureka, Mississippi. Now entering the ring will be the selection of your grand champion percentage Black Hereford female. Again, we are selecting the grand champion percentage Black Hereford female. And placings over in Class 63 in your Bronvie show. First place goes to entry number 1800 at JBB Sunday Blessings 181J ET, exhibited by Cambry Pittman of Canadian, Texas. And second place in that class goes to entry number 3246, Miss RDF Linda, 1176J, exhibited by Natalie Zingenbein of Campbellsburg, Indiana. And third place in that class goes to entry number 3015, Miss RDF Veronica Daney, 1168J, exhibited by Katie June Alexander of Brashear, Texas. Now in the ring is class 64 junior yearling heifers. Folks around ringside watching the Black Hereford show, could you please join me in giving Mr. Andy Higgins a round of applause for coming out and evaluating your female show?
I'll get out here and talk this class before Andy has the privilege to do the Hereford side over there, and it's a privilege to be ringside at one of the neatest shows for me, you know, by one of my good friends and Andy Higgins. So it's a pleasure to share the ring with him and talk about these cattle. It's been fun so far today. A nice pair of females out here, right here, this class. I think just in terms of quality and structure that we've been looking for, both these females bring that to the table. You like their design and their balance and their build, and I think just in terms of structure out here, which is a priority of mine, both these heifers have that. For me, it comes down to just freshness. I think the female that's going to lead off this class, just in terms of the way she's assembled and her condition on her out here today, I love the way this one is, you know, out here in this ring. Just really trim and fresh in her design. Plenty of body still extremely good hipped. Love the way this one ties in. Just that freshness ties in from shoulder up through her head and her neck. I think just blends, and her silhouette just a shot more attractive for me from the side view. You get around her, there's still plenty of boldness and width to this female. Just kind of gets out and goes with an extra gear. Really appreciate that kind. The young lady that's going to go second, I mean, in terms of just being a high-volumed, extremely maternal kind of a female, boy, she's had it. She's bold-ribbed, big-hipped, got plenty to her. I think a female that still gets out with all that mass and hits the surface with some comfortability. I think one that still maintains it really well. I'd like to just trim her up just a notch more comparably to that class winner, but an awfully nice set of females there to round out this class. Congratulations to them.
Well, thank you, Tim. It's pretty cool being out here with you, too. Over here on the Black Hereford side, in this percentage show, we've had, the numbers have been really good here, folks, and we've had a lot of quality all the way through this show. And we get these division champions back out here, and I'll be honest, I didn't know quite how they were going to match up as we progress through the show, but we get them back out here, and folks, this is a good set of cattle. Really good, and I tell you, there's some different types and kinds out here, and I said it earlier this morning, and I'll say it again, there's nothing wrong with having different types and kinds. We all like something a little different. We all need something a little different. As far as what we got at home, we want to change cattle. You know, it takes a different kind to change them sometimes, and it's always good to see the diversity within these shows. A lot of people think that's negative. I do not. I like it. And with that being said, I'll go through and talk these right quick here because I think they're worthy of running back through them here. The heifer calf out of this first division, she was the only one in there, but I think this one reads with just a tremendous amount of future. We want to talk structural integrity. This one's probably got as much as any in the whole lineup. She's one that's awesome bodied to be this young and juvenile in her age here, and I think she just reads with a lot of future, a lot of good in that one. the heifer out of that second division. She was one that gave us a neat look about her head and neck, so feminine, so angular. When we get her back out here, she probably just gives up a little bit of the foot size and bone of what we need in relation to some of these others, but I think that female's very functional. She's one that's going to continue to get better as we watch her go on down the road here. The female out of this next class, she won that division. Just due to her structural correctness and her power, and I think we get her back out here and she's still probably as good off her hind leg, the way she's designed in that hock down in that pastern as anything we've got out here. She's one that is probably a little rounder in her muscle shape than what my liking is, but at the same time she's one that's still got some muscle to her. She's still got some top and hip in her. Along with that, she's got some rib and shape to her rib cage there. Not quite as neat through her chin as some of the others, but a female that's still certainly a contender out here today amongst this group competing for champion and reserve. Female out of the next division, just a powerhouse in terms of shape and dimension and performance and foot size and bone and foot shape. And I think that still rings true when we get her back out here. One that's so three-dimensional, gives you just a donor cow look, I think. A lot of power in this one, a lot of goodness. She too is a contender as we get back out here to pick your champion. Young ladies heifer out of this next division. You want to talk about one that's smooth and maternal, so feminine about her head and neck. She's long necked, she's flat shouldered. She still opens up with a tremendous amount of shape in her upper rib down into her lower body. I'd like to see this one with a shot more foot size and bone, but I think when we look at the rest of the quality of this female here, there's so much to appreciate about her. She's one that's got a nice little udder placement under her right now, and I think she's going to make a nice brood cow, going to make a nice show heifer for this young lady too. As we move on down the line here, the next heifer's one that's just chock full of power. She's probably as square built and three-dimensional as anything out here. With that being said, we'd maybe just like to free her up and set her back in her knee a little bit, just give her a little more flexibility off both ends. But that one gives you a neat look. Very level, very square, very powerful. We round things off here with this older female here, and I'll just tell you that one reads with a lot of goodness to me too. I think we want to talk about one that's going to go out here pretty quick and make just a really functional, easy keeping kind of brood cow. That's her. But not only does she have those things going for her, she's still got some look, she's got some bone. She's a female, maybe not quite as smooth as some of the others out here, but you want to talk about dimension in one, you've got to appreciate this one. I'll give them another look here right quick. Folks, first and foremost, let's give all these exhibitors, breeders, everyone here a round of applause. Incredible show we've got here.
As he takes another look, we'll talk this division. I think just another nice group out here. These two class winners, soundness and just the parts and pieces they have, just building from the ground up, read really true. I thought we had an extremely nice group of seconds over there. That first class, we talked some differences, just the added mobility and looseness of skeleton, I think brought the young ladies class winner out there in that first class, and then we had a really nice pair in that second class, and just in terms of some freshness and overall design, it sorted that pair for me out here. But I thought those were extremely two high quality females. Let's congratulate them out of that last class. We'll keep that pair out of the class 2 together for your grand and reserve in this division. Congratulations to them.
And your grand champion percentage Black Hereford female goes to entry number 26, Womack Lassie 1169, exhibited by Bennett Farms of Eureka, Mississippi. Congratulations. And first place over in Class 64 over in your Class 64, first place goes to entry number 5660, 4K R Fieldstone 82J, exhibited by Lennon Lister of Lindsay, Oklahoma. And second place in that class goes to entry number 5661, 4K R Iggy Z4J2, exhibited by Lennon Lister of Lindsay, Oklahoma as well. And those two were your junior champion heifer and your reserve junior champion heifer. Congratulations. And we are ready to select your full-blood purebred grand champion Bromvie heifer. Again, we are ready to select your grand champion full-blood percentage or full-blood heifer in your Bromvie show. Yeah, and your reserve grand champion percentage female goes to entry number 20, RCF Ransom Halley J45903G, exhibited by Caitlin Cole of Lancaster, Kentucky. Congratulations. Again, we are ready for your grand champion heifer.
Well, I'll keep it moving around and just take a little time here in the Hereford Drive. I think I landed here in Louisville last week on Monday. And we rolled through about 52 females this weekend through the junior shows. So wearing down just a little bit, but it gets you back pumping when you come out here and see good cattle like this and get the chance to have to be in the ring here on the green chips at to me what is probably one of the most important, if not the most important show for our crew and our unit. I know most of my guys were packing up and tie-outs and taking stuff home for the day, and I think everybody's excited to land back in Hagerstown, Indiana for a few days and actually see home and not a motel room. But the opportunities this show and this venue hold and what it can bring you, it's truly special. This place is very near and dear to my heart, and it means a lot to us. We ramp up pretty much every year just for this show alone, even though we might go to a couple hundred others. This one is very, very special. So I hope everybody in through this ring in the reserve divisions and people ringside and back in the barn know how special this show is and to be out here. I through the years of doing this, you know, not everybody's happy because there's only gets to be a grand and reserve, but I can tell everybody, you know, whether you could win a class or win a division or be towards the top of a class at a place in a venue like this, it means something because the quality is so good no matter what breed you're in. The cattle are good, the people, the breeders. There's so much talent in this industry right now, and there's such a positiveness in this industry. It just builds tougher and tougher environments. So I guess it leads people to be a little bit more bummed out if they don't just win that banner. But the neat thing about it is, at venues like this, with people ringside that watch, hey, I'm just one man's opinion. Y'all folks ringside get to make your own opinion as well and decide what works best for your programs, whether it's semen sales, genetic edges, or whatever it is. It's all important. So I continue to strive to everybody always continue to analyze and be your own judge, because it doesn't always just matter what I say. A group of y'all for taking the time and to be here. I think everybody's a strong contender in this breed, and it's what makes the breeds go forward. I have truly, enjoyed sorting through these Bromvie cattle so far. I know we got the full-blood bull show to go, but boy, this full-blood heifer show, it was good. It started off really, really good, and I commend you guys on that. I think our calf 1 champion, boy, this one comes out, and I think, for a calf to go against big breds, I'll just be the first to say this thing's in contention in terms of just design and build and look. This one puts a lot of things together, checks a lot of boxes for me, and I know she's a lot younger out here comparably to some, but you can see where this one's headed. I think this one, in terms of structure and design, is just so good. The shape and the turn to her rib is bad to the bone. I think just reads really, really good in maternal. And then the length and the look and the design of this one out through her front third of her skeleton is so good. I think just a heifer that's got a world of future. But boy, she's ready to run right now, and I think she's in competition out here with the rest of this group. The female that won the second division in terms of just foot and bone work is massive. This one's opened up a notch more than a few out here and still puts it together in an overall balanced package. Maybe not as assembled and as clean through her lower third of her cavity as some, maybe not as trim and neat up through the front part of her skeleton, but I think just in terms of added bone work, added mobility, added power, you got to appreciate that heifer out of that fall division. Our summer division, it came to us extremely trim, extremely functional, locked the feet and legs on this one. Still got plenty of turn to her body as well. Really like the way this one's designed. She ties it all together extremely nice. Maybe not as opened up as some out here, but I think from the side view and then just her added mobility, boy, I think that's an extremely, extremely high quality female that's definitely in contention as well. And we ended up with that last division winner, one that was just fresh, soft, loose structured. I think a female that ties a lot of good in here, out here in this lineup. Maybe not as neat and sharp featured as a few out here, but boy, in terms of just having that practicality and those functional parts and pieces, she brings a lot of good to this breed and a lot of good out here in this ring. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself so far. Look forward to the bull show, but we'll keep it rolling. Folks, ringside, let's congratulate all these division winners. We'll go get you a Grand and Reserve full-blood female.
Folks around ringside, let's give Mr. Tim Schaefer another round of applause for coming out and evaluating your open show. And your grand champion heifer goes to entry number 3229, S.W. Chesla, exhibited by Elin Zingerbein from Campbellsburg, Indiana. Congratulations. And your reserve grand champion purebred female goes to entry number 3227, S.W. Mia, exhibited by Elin Zingelbein from Campbellsburg, Indiana. Congratulations. And congratulations to all exhibitors on a successful Bromvie female show. We are now moving on to Class 75 of your Bromvie Bull Show. We need Class 75 Spring Bull Calves.
Nice way to kick off our full-blood purebred bull show here, and you know, a little age variation, but I think just in terms of quality and design, both these bulls have that again. Just like the last bull show, I think just comes out with two high-quality individuals, and it's just tweaking on a few little things out here, sorting this pair, because I think both these bulls rated with a ton of quality. You know, for the young man's bull that's going to lead off the class, just the angle and the design of this one's shoulder, I think, holds an advantage out of the front third of his skeleton. The way he's assembled in there, I think, adds just a shot more angle and reach out of that front end. But boy, still big-bodied for his stage of maturity. Just a young guy out here, but still comes with plenty of dimension and spread down his top. He's big-hipped, he's big-footed and featured. Really like his skeleton design. I think one that's just loose structured, big-bodied, a nice, fun prospect there. I think there's a lot of future in that calf. The bull that's going to go to in this class, another, you know, big-footed, loose-featured kind of a bull, one that's really good in his testicular development at this stage of the game. You like his body and his shape to him. I think a bull that still has a lot of nice read to his lines and his angles. Like we said, we like to set him back in his shoulder a little bit more. You can make him a notch more attractive comparatively to that bull that wins the class, but still plenty of good. Love the looseness, the skeleton, and the design of this calf as well. Two really high-quality bulls there to start off your show. Congratulations to those exhibitors.
And first place in Class 75, an automatic junior calf champion, goes to entry number 5318, Jams Sancho, exhibited by Jose Antonio Munzo from Amaris, Texas. And second place in that class in your reserve division goes to entry number 3917, Mr. M.L. Stetson, exhibited by Mackenzie Stevens of Orange, Texas. Congratulations. Now entering the ring is the selection of your senior calf champion bull. Both Class 79 and 80 were single entries, so we will be selecting your senior calf champion bull.
Another division out here in your bull show, and I think some bulls that have some good again, but offer some differences in just the way they're constructed. And I'll talk about them a little bit and show you how we like them. Young man's bull that would be out of that first class. I think just in terms of foot and feature, that bull's massive in that regard. I think ground up, really nice in the pieces he brings to the table from that area. And I think you work on the top side. He's a square built bull, and there's plenty of meat and shape in this one. Still very maternal in his side view look. I think a bull that's got plenty of shape. A bull for me maybe doesn't tie as high out of his shoulder, maybe gets a little shorter and just crestier the way that one's assembled in the front third of his skeleton design, but I still think a bull that just in terms of meat and potatoes brings a lot of really good things to the table and what he holds to offer. Maybe not as advanced in his testiculars out here comparatively to development, comparatively to the bull that comes out of the second class, but still a bull that handles it extremely nice and just has a lot of fundamental parts and pieces with some added foot and bone to go with that calf. The one that comes out of the second class in terms of just looseness of structure and design and the way he ties it, a little higher tying kind of a calf, but it gives you a little bit more look and just design from the side. Maybe not a square overall hip compared to that one that would win the first class, but still a bull that handles it very functional out through that hip. Still one that's got plenty of shape to him. Really like the way this one's designed throughout. I think the silhouette of this bull reads really, really true and gives you a really nice look from the side. Maybe doesn't set his feet down as soft as the one that wins the first class, but still gets out here and goes extremely good for me. I think a bull that just handles it a little better the way he's put together on the stand. So I think two high quality bulls. For me, the pieces out of the bull out of the second class, a little extra length, a little higher tying, both very good. Young lady, you'll have champion in this division. Young man, you'll have reserve.
A-Bar Bromvie, Heldy, Texas. And your reserve senior calf champion goes to entry number 1803, Colby Jack 3-6, exhibited by Coy Pittman of Canadian, Texas. Congratulations. Now entering the ring is class 88.
Here in our Purebred Black Hereford show, we had 4 single entry division winners, so we just decided to bring them all out here together, and I'll run through them here and tell you what I see in these 4 heifers. I think we got 4 females here. They're all awfully good in terms of quality, and I think they've all got a place in your programs no matter what you want to do. We switched these 2 here. This heifer in second wouldn't lead, but I'll just go through them down the line the way they're standing and talk them. This heifer here up front, I think she's one that is just very angular in her design. I think she's one that's attractive. She's one that reads with a lot of femininity about her head, over the top side of her neck, and the way it blends into her shoulder there. She's one that's got some levelness to her down her spine and out her hip, one that's got a really nice set to her knee and her hock. Maybe not the biggest footed one out here, maybe not the biggest barreled one we've got out here, but a female that still reads really green in her condition today. One that I think as we continue to watch this one progress, she's just going to get better every day of her life. That's a good female. The heifer here in the second hole, she's one, I think, when you talk about her amongst these 4, she's the heavy structured one. This one's so big-legged, big-footed. She's one that's got a neat look to her up front as well. I think this female reads with so much attractiveness. She's so level in her lines, and when she does get out and walk for him here, I think she's one that reaches out of her front end, and she's designed right in her shoulder in the way she is in her skeleton up there. Maybe just a nickel straighter in her hock, but I still think she gets out and reaches off her rear too with a lot of length of stride. I think that female gives us just a super high quality look out here amongst these 4. Female out of the third class here, we get into a little older female here, and I think this female is probably designed as good from her forerib back into her flank as anyone we've got out here. She's one that's got a big stout hip in her. Once again, would maybe like to see her with a shot more foot size and bone. Maybe like to see her set down on those rear 2 just a little softer, but this one on the standstill just gives you that ultra maternal look, reads with a tremendous amount of quality. The female here out of the 4th division is one coming at us maybe just a nickel more moderate in her framework than the one right in front of her, but still so extended in her design. She's one that gives us a powerful look, a female with some added bone, really soft off those hind legs. She's a female that maybe is not just quite as square when you get directly behind her and look at her over the top side of her hip, but I think one that still can get out and motor around the ring like she needs to. That's a good female in her own right. I'll give them one more look here, guys. I'll pick you a champion. Once again, congratulations to all you exhibitors thus far today.
A nice single entry on the mature bull side. I think one that really blends a lot of nice things together in terms of just the package he's in, his trimness, a bull that's big-bodied and big in the center. He's good hip, got some functional pieces to him as well. bull reads with some attractiveness on the side view, and I think you get around him, he's still got plenty of foot and feature and shape to him. A bull maybe not just going to blow you away in every one aspect, but just the quality of pieces that he can assemble together. You really appreciate the quality this one resembles. I think a bull that could stand some more competition. It'll be nice to see him back out here in the champion lineup here in a minute. Congratulations to him. Nice bull.
And your grand champion purebred black Hereford female goes to entry number 52, CF Black Candy K02, exhibited by Coltman Farms of Maysville, Georgia. Congratulations. Your reserve grand champion purebred black Hereford female goes to entry number 41, JM Miss Heartland, exhibited by Landon Elson of Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. Congratulations to those exhibitors. And first place in Class 88 and automatic champion junior bull over in your Bromby bull division goes to entry number 4873, Mr. GBR Renegade, exhibited by Jeremiah Gonzalez from Pastine, Texas. Congratulations. Now entering the ring will be the selection of your grand champion full-blood Bromby bull.
Our full-blood show to conclude today on this, and to wrap it up, haven't had just the total big numbers out here in this group, but again, like I've said all day, I'm really impressed with the quality all the way down through. I won't keep the speech long. We did that in the Heifer show. I just want to thank everybody from the association and here in North American for allowing me to maybe check off one of the biggest goals, and is judging on the green chips and not showing so many on the green chips. So it was been truly an honor to come out here and evaluate your Bromby cattle. I think the quality we've seen in both shows have been so good. It was a lot of fun to sort through these cattle today, and even after a long week and a half, 2 weeks, it definitely kind of brought me back, to get pumped up this morning and come out here and sort through these cattle. So it's truly been my honor. I won't keep it past there. I think we got a great group of bulls out here. I want everybody to have safe travels home and good luck in your future endeavors. Again, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. Let's show these guys a nice round of applause, and we'll go get you a Grand and Reserve bull to conclude today.
Over here on the black Hereford side, we're going to pick you a Supreme Champion female here, and I want to take the time now to just thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to come out here and sort through the cattle. Thank the North American. They reached out to me there yesterday afternoon, and I'm sure most of you know had a little mix-up on the judge, and I was already going to be here this morning sorting through the Aberdeens, so I said absolutely, I'd be glad to do it. Kind of like Tim said over here behind me, it's always been a dream, and this is my first chance to ever judge here at the North American. It's always been a dream, and I think back, I thought about it earlier when Brent Toll was over here judging the junior show, and he was talking about all the years of the North American, and this is my 25th consecutive one. Never ever realized it until I was standing in here a while ago. So that's pretty cool to think about all the people you meet, the peers you meet, the people and the acquaintances you make over those years, and it's pretty cool to be out here with one of my close friends judging on the ring over here next to me. That's pretty neat, because I know a few years ago we were some snot-nosed kids running around eating pretzels and drinking Mountain Dew up here in Freedom Hall. So pretty cool to see how it all evolves. And folks, I want to leave you with that before I pick you a champion here. It's fun to show these cattle. We're all competitive. We all want to win, but at the end of the day, this right here is just kind of showcasing our programs, and what we do at home, what we believe in at home is far more important than what my opinion is out here in the ring of these cattle. You got to believe in what you got at home. You got to do your thing, and if you believe in it, you will be successful. So I'll leave you with that, folks. Once again, thank you all. Been a really good show. I'll pick you a Supreme Champion heifer here.
And your grand champion full-blood Bromby bull goes entry number 4772, JBB Jammin JR 108J, exhibited by J-Bar Bromby View of Heldy, Texas. Congratulations. And your reserve grand champion full-blood bull goes to entry number 5318, JM Sanko, exhibited by Jose Antonio Munzo from Amherst, Texas. Congratulations. We will now be doing your group classes over in your Bromby show. And your overall champion, Black Hereford, goes to entry number 26, Womack Lassie, 1169, exhibited by Bennett Farms of Eureka, Mississippi. Congratulations. And your champion produce of dam goes to JBB Kinsley at 9511G over in your Bromby show. Congratulations. Who's exhibiting that? We'll have to add, sorry. And that was exhibited by Jose Antonio Munzo from Amaris, Texas. Congratulations. Now we'll be selecting your champion get of sire. And your champion get a sire goes to JBB Denario 6-23D. And your reserve champion goes to DLC Toronto 618D. Congratulations to those exhibitors. Now we will be selecting breeder's best forehead. And we are now ready for Class 2 Spring Bull Calves over in your percentage Black Hereford Bull Show. Both Class 2 and Class 3 are single entry, so we will be selecting your Spring Bull Calf Division Champion. Again, both Class 2 and 3 are single entry, so we will be selecting your Spring Bull Calf Champion.
as we start off this bull division here. A pair of bulls that both, I think, when we get them out on the go, get out and take a big step. They're ones that are flexible in their skeleton. The bull that's going to win the class for me, I think, just offers a bit more shape in terms of muscle. I think he's a bit truer and squarer out the top side of his hip than this bull in second. Bull in second here, like I said, he's one that can get out and motor around the ring really good in the angles to his hock and on down to the ground. For me, I'd just like to give him a shot more power and true dimension all the way through to move up in the class any.
And your Spring Bull Calf Division champion goes to entry number 6, JC's Gentleman in Black, KO3, exhibited by Calvert Cattle Farm of Anderson, Alabama. And your reserve Spring Bull Calf Division champion goes to entry number 4, 2H's Black Charger, KO1, exhibited by Austin Herm of Philpott, Kentucky. Congratulations. Now entering the ring will be Class 6 Senior Bull Calves. And first place in Breeders' Best Forehead over in your Bromby show. First place goes to Elin Zingenbrand, and second place goes to JMS Cattle. Third place goes to J Bar Bromby, and fourth place goes to Alexander Bromby Ranch, and fifth place goes to Stillwater Farm. Congratulations to those breeders, and congratulations to all exhibitors over in your Bromby show for a successful show here at the North American.
Another single entry here in the percentage bull show, and bull that just really maintains a lot of levelness down his top line room. We get him out on the go. Nice set of testicles under him. Just an awfully nice kind of bull here, single entry in this show.
And first place in Class 6 goes to entry number 50, Triple T's 84J, Prince by ILR, exhibited by Triple T Farms of Nancy, Kentucky. Now entering the ring will be Class 8 Senior Bull Calves.
This is a good pair of bulls here, and for me, I'm going to go with the one that's just a little longer and more extended in his design. I think a bull that up through his front 1/3, he's so attractive about his head, neck, the way he ties in there at the point of his shoulder. Reads good on down to the ground from there. He's laid back in his knee. I think he maintains more levelness and squareness out his hip than the bull in second here. Bull with a good set of testicles on him. Maybe wish he had a shot more foot size, but I tell you, that bull is just one that balances up really nicely. This bull in second, when we read him from the side, he probably appears to read with a little more power than he does when you get around behind him. And I think if we could just open him up some there, maybe just see him with a shot more length than just overall dimension, he could get around that bull in front of him. But both very useful, functional kind of cattle here in the bull show.
And first place in Class 8 Senior Bull Calves goes to entry number 36, LC Onward Trust 2132, exhibited by LC Ranch of Crockett, Texas. And second place in that class goes to entry number 51, Triple T's Jaden 56J by Salmon, exhibited by Triple T Farms of Nancy, Kentucky. And those two entries will automatically be your Senior Bull Calf champion and reserve champion. Excuse me, we will now be selecting your Senior Bull Calf champion.
We get these two out here to pick you a division champion, and we just talked them there in class. I'm going to go with the bull out of the second class. I prefer his length. I think he's one that's just a little more shapely out his hip there on the top side specifically. He'll be your champion in that class or in this division.
And your senior champion bull calf goes to entry number 36, LC Onward Trust 2132, exhibited by LC Ranch of Crockett, Texas. Congratulations. And your reserve senior bull calf champion goes to entry number 51, Triple T's Jayden 56J by Salmon, exhibited by Triple T Farms of Nancy, Kentucky. Congratulations. Please note that entry 42 got moved to a single class, so class 11 and 12 are both single entries, and we will be selecting your yearling bulls.
a really good pair of single entry bulls here. As we get into some older bulls, they were both class winners, I believe. We'll talk them right quick. This bull out of the first class, I think we want to talk about one that reads with a lot of extension and looseness of structure. It's him. This guy just gives you a really attractive and correct look up through his front 1/3. He's one that maintains a lot of levelness and power over the top side of his skeleton, at his hip. We read him on down to the ground, and I think he's good in the angle to his hock and his knee all the way down into his big feet. I think just a really high-quality individual here to represent your first class. Bull out of the second class is one that's just bold. I think we look at this bull, and maybe he's not as attractive and trendy looking as the bull out of the first class, but he's just a meat wagon. I think we read this bull from his forerib back into his flank. He's just bold. You get around behind him, and he's just so shapely. You know, you compare him to the bull in front of him. Maybe he's not as tucked up in his chest floor, wants to get a little sloppier in his sheath, but I think at the end of the day, this bull here offers a lot of goodness as well. When we talk about getting some progeny out of him, I think both these bulls can work. Maybe you use them on different kind of cows, but they've both certainly got their place. They're both high quality. I'll show you the way I like them. Let's give these guys a round of applause.
And your champion yearling bull goes to entry number 42, JM One Night Stand, exhibited by Kylie Smith of Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. Congratulations. And your reserve yearling bull goes to entry number 15, JCR's Double Trust Cat 107, exhibited by Jenkins Cattle Ranch of Dale, Indiana. Congratulations. We are now ready to select your grand champion percentage Black Hereford bull. Again, we are ready to select your grand champion percentage Black Hereford bull here at the North American.
Out here for your champion selection of your percentage bull. We've had a good bull show here. Not a lot of numbers in it, but I think we've had some quality all the way through. Like I said earlier, we've had some different types and kinds, but I think that offers just a lot of versatility depending upon how you want to mate these guys. For me, I guess there's a couple of bulls that do a lot of things right. I've kind of got my mind made up. I'll go show you how I like them. Let's give them a big hand right quick here before I pick you a champion.
And your grand champion percentage bull goes to entry number 42, JM One Night Stand, exhibited by Kylie Smith of Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. Congratulations. And your reserve champion bull goes to entry number 15, JCR's Double Trust Cat 107, exhibited by Jenkins Cattle Ranch of Dale, Indiana. Congratulations. We'll now be moving on to your Purebred bull show here in your Black Hereford show. Again, we are moving on with Class 21 Purebred bulls. And please note that class 21, 22, and 29 are all single entries, so we will be selecting your grand champion purebred black Hereford bull. Again, we will be selecting your grand champion black Hereford bull. Out of your Division 1, we have entry number 17, PF Trust Resolve Way WA746, exhibited by Peters Farms of Hamiltonville, North Carolina. And out of your second division, we have entry number 18, PF Sir Through Resolve A746, 2022, exhibited by Peters Farm of Hamiltonville, North Carolina. And out of your third division, we have entry number 11, JCR's Coupe HR 2296102, exhibited by Emily Tabor and Jenkins Cattle Ranch of Garfield, Kentucky. Again, we will be selecting your grand champion, purebred black Hereford bull.
Our 3 division winners out here to pick your purebred shows. We wind things up today. Quality's still here, folks. We've sorted through a lot of cattle, and these bulls are still nice. Here at the end of the day, this one out of this first division, I think a bull that when we really look at how he's put together, this bull's designed really nicely. He's got some extension. He's got some stretch to him. His neck ties into his shoulder really correctly, and you read him on down into his knee. Super flexible there. We study him through the lower side of his rib cage, and it's just really, really nice the way he's designed there from his forerib back into his flank. A bull that's got some flexibility to his hock and his pasterns. Just one that I think offers a lot of goodness, and I think this guy here, we project him a year from now what he's going to look like, and I think you're going to be really impressed with this guy. He's just built really good, and that's a nice individual out of that first division. Bull out of the second division, another one that's just tremendously long-bodied, long-hipped. You study this guy from his hooks to his pins, and there's a lot of length there. He's one that comes out here and gives us a really masculine look. Maybe not the biggest footed or biggest boned one we've got out here, but a bull that still offers a lot of quality, a lot of goodness in that calf. This big bull out of our third division here kind of takes things to a whole different level. This bull designed so correctly up through his shoulder, through his front end. We study him over his top. There's some shape there. He's really square hipped, really bold down into his quarter. I think he sets down on a big foot and a good set of feet and legs. Just a super high quality individual here. I'll show you how I like him here in this deal. Let's give him one more last round of applause. We had a great show today.
And your grand champion purebred black Hereford bull goes entry number 11, JCR's Coupe HR 2296102, exhibited by Emily Tabor and Jenkins Cattle Ranch of Garfield, Kentucky. And your reserve grand champion bull goes entry number 17, PF Trust's Resolve WA746, exhibited by Peters Farms of Hamiltonville, North Carolina. And over in your Black Hereford show, we will be selecting your overall champion bull. Again, we will be selecting your overall champion bull.
out here for the selection of your Supreme Champion Bull. These champions here, folks, I just tell you, I think both these bulls are of extreme high quality, and you paint them any color you want to throughout the past week here. I think these bulls could contend in terms of quality in any bull show there's been here, because both these bulls do so many things right, just in terms of their build, their look. They're bulls that have some performance and shape to them, just really functional kind of cattle. And I dare say both these bulls are going to go on and produce some really good ones on down the road, just because they're so good themselves. I guess for me it's pretty close between your two champions here, but I've got one that I probably prefer just a little more. But both these bulls of utmost quality. Congratulations to you exhibitors and breeders once again. Incredible show here today.
And your grand champion overall bull goes to inch number 42, your percentage bull, JM One Night Stand, exhibited by Kylie Smith of Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. Congratulations. And that will conclude your Black Hereford Open Show here in Broadbent Arena at the 2022